Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another weekend extravaganza of Paladins Esports. It's week 3 of the open bracket qualifiers. My name is Rainday, and my buddy High-Res Prettier will be joining us alongside this incredible action for today. We're excited. There's a lot of things happening in the air in Paladins. There's just legendary,
a lot of changes
legendary atmosphere.
That's right, guys. We got the PTS happening right now. All the legendary cards are unlocked for you to try out and figure out which ones you like the best, which ones you want to go for first once they hit live.
And of course, if you are in live and you're thinking, well, hey, at least let me stack up on some gold, stack up on some crystals. We got a free crystal weekend happening as well to be able to get some extra crystals in your pocket. Go ahead and make sure you play live. You'll get 30 crystals per first win of the day. I think you can get 3 of those. So I think you can get 90 crystals per day, totaling 1,000 crystals over the... I'm just kidding. I was pretending I was bad at math, but no. You're going to get quite a bit if you're able to go and get those first wins. So make sure you do it. Let's take a look at the North American side of the standings. If you're just tuning in, we had Europe yesterday, and here's where NA said Xenasi at the top of the bracket. You may notice match point. Where are they? They actually dropped out as a team, and they've got players that have moved over to Astral Authority. Team AGG, Team Eager has one of Match Point's players. You may know him. His name's Stolzy. And so it's all very tight and contested here in North America.
That's right. It's almost anyone's game here for the first seed. But I think in terms of who's going to get in the top 4, it looks like it's pretty locked in right now. We got Astral Authority sitting at 100 there, sitting about 65 points above the rest of the pack. They're Highborn below them at 35 points. You can see the bracket here today. Xenasi versus Astral Authority will be the first game that we're watching. On the bottom side, we've got AGG and Eager as well. So Vex making a little bit deeper into the bracket, I think, than we've traditionally seen from them.
Yeah, and what is interesting to note, both of these semifinals have undefeated teams, so somebody's going to lose that streak going into this. We've got Xenasi versus Astral Authority for the first set you'll be watching here. And the map bans have come out. Timber Mill off the board. Frozen Guard tossed away as well. Frog Isle will be the map they play game 1 on. And this is a best-of-5 set. So first to 3 wins takes the cake and moves to the finals. We're ready for the champion draft. Xenasi versus Astral Authority starts now.
And the European drafts were up in the area, so they were all over the place. Stuff we're just totally not used to seeing. The Makoa first pick is still staple, but
absolutely
the rest was just absolutely up in there. We saw 3 tank, 2 healer. I think we saw no tanks one game. But the thing here is that EU has kind of gotten used to Torvald. They're not afraid to pull out the Torvald anymore, and we saw District 69 leaning on Torvald, in fact, in a lot of situations here. NA has shown that they're ready to do that, but what they haven't shown is the Maeve pick. We haven't seen them go to that very often. We haven't seen them lean on that, pick that, you know, first or second that we saw in Europe yesterday, especially Burrito.
In fact, we've seen that be something that has kind of been a hindrance for them. When Dosev's picked up that Maeve, he was not very successful. And we'll have to see if that changes, though. Torvald's still highly prioritized. Again, you see Astral Authority take him as the first pick.
Yeah.
The new front line here, able to deal with those shields well. But Ruckus for Xenasi still very high on the board. That seems to be something that's consistent across EU and NA.
Yeah, granted, Maeve last weekend was brand spanking new. Hot off the press, brand new champion in the realm. So, you know, as teams have more time to practice with her and against her, I think we might see a little bit more here today. But double frontliner already locked in for Xenasi, and Fernando has been going later and later into the draft here, and there's a Grover for Astral Authority.
Well, that's a bit surprising, seeing that Ying is on the table, and that does...
It is Frog Isle, though.
That does, you know, I mean, map-specific drafts are something we've seen and I think can be effective. Grover's going to do well at keeping, you know, champions like Victor who want to just kind of stay perched up on the edge, throw those grenades, and just wail down. But he's got to be pretty exposed to get all that healing done. I'm interested about that one. I think Yang still would have been very valuable on this map.
And 1 pick left here for Astral Authority. It's going to be Eevee. Have to have that flank pressure, I think, at some point. And Eevee is a character that can traverse the wide lines of sights of Frog Isle with relative ease without taking too much poke from Victor, as that is likely to be her target heading into the backline.
Well, let's head into the game. It's time to get things started. First semifinal of the day in North America, and these teams are ready to rock. Z1 Unknown on Xenasi. We talked a lot about him last weekend, and he is looking to show up on this hot Victor. Tooney, not on his Bomb King, but on Maeve. It seems like him and another person I know love the 2 same champions. Smidgen on Maldamba, Kakanuk on Makoa, Tiny Fetus on Ruckus.
Astral Authority will be their opponents today. On the right side of your spectator UI, Wooly will be playing the Drogos. Cuss Cutie on Grover. Wardoom on Torvald, so we'll have to see how aggressive he's going to get today. Doseps on Shaolin and Bodies on Eevee. That's a very scary lineup.
Big thing to note, Avuli back in the lineup this weekend for Astral Authority. Did not play last weekend. They weren't able to achieve the type of success that they wanted, and I think this is a big, clear sign that Avuli, one of the people who made his name on Bomb King, back in their roster, trying to carry this squad. A couple of salvos and rockets will deter the aggression right now from Xenoseed, so they'll just sit back, hang out for a bit, and let Drogos do his thing, which is not where you want to be, but it is all for Astral Authority right now. A long-range rocket will help iDrop Bodies clean that up. 42% on this point already.
Trying to bully their way on as Xenoseed. The Grover axes are definitely providing some good long-distance pressure here. Anyone who comes around that corner is going to take, 600 to 700 damage. Nice floating fire spit, but it's going to actually be off the mark here. But, it's creating the zone that needs to happen right now. Astral Authority, 80% already on this payload, and it just doesn't look like Xenoseed are confident enough to try and bully their way onto this, even with the double frontliner.
I love the floating fire spits as well. It's a 1-0 to start for Astral Authority. They take clear command, clear authority, so to speak, of this game. And with the Avuli in the backline, he's just been keeping the constant pressure. He loves staying in the air to finish off those fire spits, keeps himself even. We see Bugsy kind of drop sometimes or rise up and still hit those shots. Avuli just keeping it even, making sure that he stays equilateral to his fire spit so he can explode that with his rocket.
2 minutes remain here. Grover just continuously throwing out. Character does not have a reload, so he's content to just spam his axes away. And double frontliner now holding down this angle here, but Xenoseed trying to keep their feet under them right now. Toonie finds Doseps here, but falling lower and lower now with only 1:50 remaining here. This Frog Isle is an extremely short push here, so Astral Authority want to keep the momentum on their side.
Great time to use that ultimate from Grover as well. Not enough cauterize on the board to make it not impactful, so he gets full value from that Whirlwind, which just heals up your teammates so well. Great tracking by Z1 Unknown.
With an Eevee on his tail.
And he actually lets the grenade go, which could impact the fight with Toonie down there, taking a little bit of extra damage. Doseps gets the kill on the Kakanuk though, and that will solve a lot for for Xenoseed. Because, of course, without a tank to kind of defend and create that frontline pressure, the damage dealers are going to have a tough time getting over there. Torvald, Wardoom already going hard onto the Ruckus, and Makoa's back, but here's the Hyper Beam. It's available. He doesn't want to use it, though, because they feel like they've already got this locked up.
Oh, no.
And they even get a Dread Serpent to boot from Xenoseed.
That is not good. I don't know why you popped that there when you already have 3, 4 of your teammates dead. I mean, the one person you maybe save there is Kakanuk on the Makoa, but without an Ancient Rage, I don't think he's going to be able to turn that fight around by himself.
There's
so
a lot
now,
yeah.
They're going to go into that with big time down in the ultimate
It's
department.
a mistake.
They have nothing available. Barrage is almost there. That's just, they just didn't get any damage off during that round. They were just on the back foot the whole time. As you see Astral Authority's ultimates, they used the Grover ultimate. Cuskutie's already back to 60% on that, and the rest of the ultimates are good to go. Hyper Beam could definitely throw a wrench in the spanner here. And I see both of these double tanks this round really trying to bully their way onto the point, take control of it early because they were never able to get in there. But the Hyper Beam is just going to totally dismantle that.
Absolutely right, and it's time for Xenoseed to make a change. There's a lot of history between these two teams. Smidgen, formerly a member of Matchpoint, that kind of disbanded here, and he's actually gotten the better of Cuscutie, Wardoom, and Doseps, who were also on Matchpoint.
Nice stun.
But Doseps here is not letting any of that go either way except his. It is all about for the long range. He sets it up, triple kill for Doseps here. And it is all because of the zone created by Wardoom, the pressure from above by Avuli. Their team's firing on all cylinders right now and creating a lot of open space for the Shaolin to do work.
That's a brave Heat Haze right there. With 50 HP, comes and gets the triple kill. No fear. Doseps is here, 57% and climbing for Astral Authority. Still have 3 ultimates left on the table. Dragon Punch for one of these frontliners. Which one is it going to be?
And he's going to find Smidgen. So no healing now. Here's the recharge. Going to try and take away the shield. It will be successful. Cuscutie on the Grover picks up 2 of his own, and overtime takes away. 2-0 goes the score now, and it is 3. With Astral Authority taking a commanding lead again on Frog Isle. They've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and this game is going to be over. It's going to be a 1-0 start. This is the way they wanted to come out today. Set a tone against Xenoseed that they are not going to be upset again.
Here comes the Midnight from Toonie, trying to find something, but still no picks. It does put Astral Authority on the back foot. It separates Wardoom from the rest of his squad, and they are able to take him down eventually. Toonie trying to pressure out this Eevee, but Doseps does answer back on to Z1 Unknown. There's the repulsor field coming out from the Ruckus, keeping everyone safe for the time being.
Z1 is such an important player for Xenasi, and we see them kind of crumbling here, not really having a lot of rhythm. A lot of what they had success with is when Z1 was able to take the game into his own hands on an Eevee, on somebody who is just maybe extra skilled, but if it paid off, you were able to go to the bank big time. And now with this Victor, I feel like he's a little bit crippled with the skill cap there. I feel like you can only do so well, do so many things with a Victor, maybe not having the impact he needs for his team.
I don't know who's running the drafts, but it's not what you want to put your star on. I don't think. Maybe he's just filling that role for his team. It's not really up to him. But you're right. I mean, there's only so much a Victor can do to carry a team fight, especially when there's an Eevee pressuring him out. You know, that puts a hard, you know, lifespan on that Victor in that team fight. He did a good job of it with the Eevee. He was able to find a kill in the previous round, but Astro Authority are not letting up here. A minute remaining. There's the Dragon Punch again coming out, finding one of the tanks, and here's a good salvo to try and get that recharged.
Zones him out with the salvo, and again, goes right into a fire spit. I love the aggressive play. Astro Authority, as a result of that and their team-wide coordination and execution, pick up game one pretty swiftly against Xenasi. So they've got a lot of questions to answer now, Xenasi do.
It felt quiet. Like,
it's
our first game of the day. Like, we're just waking up. Are they just waking up? Like, what's going on here? I didn't feel like there was a coordinated response. I mean, there was a big whiff Dread Serpent as well. Still good healing though from Smidgen beating out Cuskey, but that's a little bit to be expected. Great damage from the Grover player here, almost hitting that 40,000 mark. Keeping up almost with Dosups, who had a great game. Evuli putting a lot of poke out onto that double frontliner as well. Body's playing well, but yeah, we just need to see a little bit more from Xenasi here. They seem just quiet that game. Not a lot of coordinated strikes, not a lot of attempting to bully their way onto points with their double frontliner composition. It's not often that we see a solo Torvald just kind of like win the front line against two tanks.
They didn't have all cylinders firing, to say the least. I think a lot of it has to do with not having the opportunity for Z1 to continue his dominance and his kind of MVP play that we saw last week. We're ready with the champion draft for game 2. It'll be on Jaguar Falls. Let's see if they can change things up and mix up the rhythm. We know the drafting phase is something that allows a team to kind of go into a game with some more momentum, than, especially even if they lost. If they get a good draft, they can feel good. They can have like the early game start out for them and really kind of catch up in what was a pretty demoralizing loss for Xenasi there.
I mean, Cassie was on the board last game, and that's, you know, one of Z1 Unknown's greats. There is an Androxus on the board. If they were, you know, it depends what they were looking for. If they were looking for the backliner, I would have rather put Z1 Unknown on Cassie. If they were looking for more flank pressure, I would have rather put him on Androxus. It just feels like Victor was not the answer specifically for him, for
Absolutely.
Z1.
Absolutely. So they take the Torvald away. Makoa gets grabbed up first pick, and there's the Cassie we mentioned. That could easily go to Z1. That could easily go to iDrop. You know, that could easily go to any player, you know, on that squad. But Astro Authority as well, Nick. When you look at what Cuskey was bringing to the table, it was strong with Grover. He's a solid support player. He kept his team alive. Really good early whirlwinds. And I wonder if he's going to favor Grover here. I wonder if they're going to go for the more traditional Yang Maldamba.
Yeah, well, the Maldamba, but I think Cuskey is going to be on the support. And that's the value of having Cuskey on your team, right? Things weren't working out with Vex last week, so they sub in Evuli, and now Cus can flex to that support role, play the Maldambas, the Grovers, and then if they want to change it up again, maybe bring Vex back in, then Cus flexes somewhere else. It's just a very flexible roster. A lot of good picks. Shaolin Damba was the answer from Astro Authority here. Now with the option to go into a Ruckus, if they want to get on that. But I like the Shaolin Drogas, especially into the double frontliner.
And Maeve will be selected for Astro Authority. That means that Xenasi will not have Sneaky Cat Burglar on their squad, but they will have Eevee. As you want to know, has been known to play a lot of that at a very high level as well. Astro Authority versus Xenasi. Game 2 coming up right now. We'll see if Xenasi can pull into this race yet again, or if Astro Authority will cement their lead and make it 2-0. Starting with the lineups here, we've got Astro Authority coming in with Cuskey on his Maldamba now. iDrop Bodies on the Maeve. Wardoom on Fernando. Dosups on Shaolin yet again. And Evuli, big difference maker for me last game on the Drogos.
And for Xenasi, Z1 Unknown, this time is going to be on that Impact Eevee, one of his favorite characters, one that he plays extremely well. Smidgen will be on Ying this time around. Tuni on Cassie. Kakanuk on Makoa, and Tiny Fetus on the Torvald. We can see Bodies playing that Maeve, running that Street Cred 2 here. The Shred 2 for a little bit of pounce cooldown, and Walk It Off 3 for a little bit of healing. during his prowls.
Street Runner 2 as well, just making that prowl last a second longer. Means a little bit more healing, it means a little bit more distance potentially. I Drop Body's going to be looking to make a big impact with this Maeve. Requires a lot of good aiming to be most effective with her. 6% already on the objective for Astral Authority, so the point fight's gone their way to their credit thanks to their positioning. But now I Drop Body finds himself running into a Makoa, decides to go outside a little bit, keep throwing those daggers, affecting the team fight, gets a lot of good damage onto Smidgen though, and he's going to use his Dimensional Link already. That's bad for this fight. Saves his life, but uses Prowl to reposition, and that's the power of Maeve in these close maps. Double kill, deletes Gassy, and she goes down as well, thanks to Z1 Unknown.
Eats a big ice staff to the back of the head right now. Warden trying to hold down the point against two frontliners. Can't put that shield up because Torvald's just going to charge off it. He has his pocket Maldamba here, which is going to help him in the long run. Dosups is now returned, slays one of the frontliners, and now Wardoom has Torvald backed into a corner, but just elects to go help Dosups, and I believe that's a very wise decision. Torvald is almost dead to rights. There's not a lot he can do here without any shields, without any cooldowns. More important to keep Dosups alive, who can carry a team fight. Absolutely, and that is going to be the difference maker here for Astral Authority. And of course, Xenasi, he's important in this squad. The Torvald so key for their play style here, wanting to use the aggression, wanting to use the silences to get to get I Drop Bodies in trouble with the Maeve. Hasn't been able to keep a lock on her yet. The Hyper Beam comes out from Tiny Fetus, and he will get a kill on a Cuss Cutie thanks to that damage, but Toonie is really low yet again, and thanks to the Ying Launch, he will heal up, and that's a nice protection bubble as well. Heal, the Ying healing, the protection bubble, it's all good, but it's not enough at the end of the day. This Torvald, again, left alone on the payload. Z1 is here on his EVs trying to clean up some of these kills, but they just can't get it done. Those are all tough targets for Eevee to hit, flying around in the air. Wooly lays down the salvo. There's nowhere for Z1 to go after that ice block expires.
And he falls, and it will look to be a falling objective for Xenasi. Astral Authority picked that up 1-0 in Jaguar Falls, and Avuli continues to zone here on the Drogos, just using one of the stronger champions in the game right now and using him extremely well. And I mentioned I love his contribution to these games and this team in general. I think he has really been that extra solid player, that piece that Astral Authority needed to submit their authority in this battle, you know, because it was a lot more even. Xenasi had the edge last weekend, a couple weekends ago. And now it just looks like they're a whole different team.
Yeah, this is it's a strong roster, right? So the more these guys play together, the scarier they're going to get. The more synergy they have, the more comfortable they become with each other, calling each other out, helping each other get better. As a squad, this is going to be a very dangerous five-man in the realm.
One of the more mechanical players as well we've seen on this squad. I Drop Bodies, one of the better ones. Ivuli, one of the better ones, again known for his Bomb King play and playing actually a lot of flex champions, whether it's Shotland, whether it's Eevee, knows how to do it. There's a Dread Serpent as well. I Drop Bodies knows how to keep those daggers coming, and there's the Dragon Punch, but gets taken down by Z1 Unknown, and Tiny Vetus and Smidgen split the difference, pick up a couple of kills of their own, and Xenasi find a defense for the first time in a whole game and a half.
There we go, a minute left here, and Astral Authority are so close. They've put themselves in a great position here to find this conversion. Two ultimates available, however, for Xenasi, and Astral Authority did spend a decent amount to try and get that. The Dragon Punch, the Heat Haze was not too long ago, and the Dread Serpent as well. So Astral Authority can either just try and win the team fight off raw skill here. Here comes the Ice Storm as well, but not a lot of follow-up. So we're going to be able to heal that one back up and try again.
Z1 going in, and this is the difference he's making. He's pushing them all back. He's creating a lot of pressure. He didn't get kills there, but he forced the shield out of Fernando early. He forced them into a position to where they were defensive, allowed his team to heal up, get back to full health. But still, it doesn't matter because Warden was in the back line right after that, continuing to apply pressure, picks up almost 2 kills himself, contributes to 3, and could be 4. Z1 Unknown left as the man standing, but he will not be able to stall what is the inevitable, it seems, at this point. Yet Wardoom is low, and if they can continue this with Tiny Fetus coming through, he's gonna stall this out.
No,
he's gonna stall this out, Nick, but
good.
Will it be enough?
Z1 Unknown bought just enough time for, I believe it was either Cassie or this Ying to get back. No, the Immortal just goes off the map. Immortal won't save you from the hazard zones. The Hyper Beam wins out just before. That's just unfortunate timing right there.
Man. Obviously, the CC immunity, overtime ticking away. It's going to grant Xenasi the successful defense. But the CC immunity of Fernando's ultimate allows him to basically stop moving, stop being affected by Torvald's Hyper Beam. He would have been able to stay on the map, but he just activated too late. His momentum was too far, and he wasn't able to do it. Unlucky.
Picking up the Master Riding 2, keeping up with Tiny Fetus this time around. And I feel Wardoom's doing a good job, I feel, of, as a Fernando player, playing around recharge from Torvald. Whether it's waiting to bait it out, making sure that it's on cooldown when you use your shield. He's doing a great job of not keeping Tiny Fetus alive, basically, because Torvald is looking to use Fernando as a battery to just keep himself charged up. But great job there from Zenith. The Astral Authority pushed it all the way, basically, to the goal line there, and just full goal line defense from Zenith, able to keep things alive, not go down another 2-0. So starting to see some momentum pick up from the squad. Tuning
with an instinctive dodge roll, knows trouble is near, and that she must retreat. He's got a 2 streak. And he wants to continue that as Avuli, flying in the air, looks to find some rockets down onto his opponents. Hits a Yin clone, hits actually 2 of them to make sure that healing can't happen. And again, an aggressive and very accurate fire spit that turns into an explosion and really helps to create chaos on the point. That salvo! Damage over 3 members of Xenasi, and this is going to be a problem for them. Torvald doesn't have much life left, but neither does Avuli, with a very, very good kill by Tiny Fetus. However, the Torvald stays alive in that interchange for just long enough to give Z1 Unknown some time to come back, throw the ultimate out, but it's her versus Wardoom, and he's got a Moldava Gourd on him. He's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Now stunned out, Impale Arrow in the hallway, good for Astral Authority. 57% and still climbing, but Zenith are starting to make some moves here. Double kill though, 2 for 0. Astral Authority are taking command of this fight quickly, and Drop Bodies using this mobility just to stay on the flanks, always hitting Zenith from angles they don't expect.
It's so fast, the damage, the confirmable pounce damage is so fast, 99%, and that is the objective captured for Astral Authority. And Drop Bodies is just playing Maeve at a high level right now. He's absolutely taking advantage of the moment when you don't see her coming, or when you don't think about her. There's a Hyper Beam from Tiny Fetus, tries to get him off the map. And it charges very quickly, but it is to no avail there. So kind of felt, hey, if we get it, we can stall this push.
Yeah, if you get it, you get it.
And unfortunately, if we don't, we'll be able to charge that up again when it really matters. 2 minutes, though, left on the clock. And it's all up to Zenith here.
I don't really hate the use of that Hyper Beam, nor do I hate the use of this Midnight here. Dosup's big kills coming through in this team fight off the back of that ultimate time. Just trying to go. Kakanuk has nowhere to run on this Makoa. The payload is not close enough to close this round out off the back of that team fight win, and I suspect Zenith, you can see them sitting in their spawn right now. They don't want to get staggered. They're waiting to get all 5 members because they have the time to spare.
And with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, Zenith need to stall this defense now. The Dread Serpent does come out from Astral Authority, and they are looking for kills. Heat Haze popped by Dosips. He's got to go one more shot, but Cassie doesn't know where he is. Ancient Rage Makoa could kill him in 1 hit, but he's swinging at nothing, and unfortunately, almost about to fall. He comes into the back line, but there's Planet, and that'll secure the kill onto the Turtle. 1 more to finish off the Grandpa, and that's a successful push. Torvald, Makoa, down. Astral Authority up 3-1.
That's just a beautiful team fight right there from Astral Authority. They stagger 4 of their 5 ultimates beautifully. Midnight to get in there, get a couple of key pickoffs, get a position to take the game. Once the respawns start coming through, we've got the Dread Serpent to blow the team fight in Astral Authority's favor. And just to outlast them, Dosips pops the Heat Haze, stays alive. After that expires, then the Immortal comes out. Just so much coverage throughout that team fight with massive team fight ultimates. Made it just so easy for Astral Authority to take that.
Already at 33% is Cutie after that Dread Serpent. Feels like it just happened. And he's going to be able to impact the fight with that ultimate again if it comes down to the wire here. He's getting credits for healing as well. If you know, doing his job in the realm gets you paid beautifully. So he's going to be sticking with his right side flank here, which looks to be comprised of 4 members of Astral Authority, looking to really take an advantage and take favorable positioning again, even though it leaves them slightly vulnerable to the Hyper Beam from Torvald. 21% on the point so far, yet to have a fight occur.
Dragon Punch is ready to go. Salvo comes out, so anyone that steps out of bounds here, Avuli will be able to Dragon Punch them easily. First kill, though, of the round to Dosips onto Z1 Unknown.
And looking to find some damage on the Smidgen as well. He goes down quickly. Kakanuk was a little too far and a little too slow for the Ring Around the Rosie game that Maeve was playing. And I Drop Bodies picks up a huge kill on the healer. Evuli with a great long-range rocket picks up a double kill.
Jeez.
Could be a triple, that it is. Looking for a quadra here is Evuli. Z1 Unknown wisely soars away.
Salvo comes out, doesn't find the dismount, however. 75% already. Zenisi have to make a move and fast, but they got to make that move straight into the Dragon Punch from Evuli. He's already winding it up. He's looking for the Torval, but the Master Riding would have kept him alive, but the game did end. Unfortunately, that would have been really funny to actually watch the entire duration of that Dragon Punch.
It really would have been. And he stays alive, but he also wisely doesn't go for the Ying, which had a Ying clone in front of her. I think he's seen...
That's asking for trouble.
It's asking for trouble. You're bound to get, nick-picked off of that one,
You're
man.
bound to get not top 5 plays.
So here are the final stats for the game. Astral Authority wipe the board clean with Zenisi one more time and look like a completely different matchup than what we saw last week.
That is big damage coming out from Dosups there, especially the fact I almost used Drogos as the benchmark, right, for a lot of damage, especially against double frontlaner when he's getting those 3-man salvos that are eating all 6 rockets, multi-person fire spits. This character should be far away ahead of everyone, but Dosups keeping up with the Shaolin, so he was finding a lot of work in these team fights. And drop bodies as well. 54 damage on the Maeve is very good for this new champion. The top eliminations in the game, 5 solo kills, so really excelling at his job, and Cuss Cutie pumping out massive amounts of healing there. 85,000 comparatively to Smidgen's 29,000. Yeah. Obviously being on the winning team helps with that stat. Pocketing War Doom is always a good look as well. He's always not very healthy. He's always low health bouncing around the corner.
He is, and with Stonekeep coming up, there's not really, I think, a clear range of how frontliners zone in this map. I think there's a lot of emphasis on the point fight. There's a lot of open and kind of vertical layers that you can see. So in the champion draft coming up here, it's important to look at, I think, what do you build off of? Where do you try to control in this map? I think a lot of teams, they go for the upper ledge. They try to get the 3rd tier on the balcony. And then some teams really like to pack it in on the point here. What's kind of the strategy for Zenisi and Astral Authority going into this draft phase?
You're right. Most of them do that one of 2 ways. They take the hyper high ground there in the 3rd tier of the Cathedral, or they just bully the way on the point. We saw a lot of Barrack in EU yesterday with double frontliners, just bullying and just staying on. Not really winning the fight, just sitting there long enough for the payload to spawn.
And that gives that gives you the advantage. And we saw even positioning, how important that was in this last match. There was the point of Astral Authority to make the right side and then step onto the objective. Get 20, 30% before the fight started so that they're in a great spot.
Yeah.
They've put the pressure onto Zenisi to behave. And now Astral Authority take Fernando early on. And this is weird because Zenisi have Makoa. I think they were just aware, hey, we don't want to give them too much front line. We don't want to deal with the clump on this map. But Maldamba and Maeve coming out is a strong kind of counterpick in my eyes to say, let's get Astral Authorities, I Drop Bodies. Let's get that Maeve out of here. 30-6 last game.
Yeah, but you give them the Cassie as well when it does well on this map as well, because she can fire from basically anywhere in this long line of sight point. I'm liking Astral Authority's picks right now, frankly. They take the Fernando a little bit early just because I think that's where War Doom's comfortable, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to give him a Ruckus or a Torvald. That's just not really his play style. He likes to be that hyper-aggressive frontliner. Rounding things out with the Victor, they leave the Androxus on the table, but they do need a healer still. So Ying, probably going to be the selection here from Astral Authority. Not a lot of flank pressure for this Victor. This time I could see this working out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for the Victor to still impact the point, be a little safer, and kind of, I think, retreat a little safer. Victor, when he retreats on Frog Isle, still, if someone's near him, retreats to a lot of open space. There's a lot of, doorways and corridors, and, you got to get into the line of sight to have that happen. We'll take a look at what ends up happening in this next game. It could be the end for Zenisi and Astral Authority as well, but they'll be moving on to the finals if they get one more win in this matchup. Astral Authority bringing Grover into the lineup again with Cuss Cutie, Evuli on the Shaolin, War Doom on Fernando, Dosups on Cassie, and I Drop Bodies this time on the Drogos.
Their opponents, once again, Smidgen on Maldamba, Tuni on Maeve this time, C1 Unknown back on Victor Kakanuk, back on Makoa, and Tiny Phoenix this time on Ruckus for what could be the final time in this series. Going with the Wrecker, trying to chew through that Fernando shield, but honestly, War Doom doesn't play around his shield too often. Most of the times when I see him put it up, it's just in retreat. It's not really like to hold down the front line for his team. I say they don't have a lot of flank pressure, but they do have Master riding Wardoom.
Yeah, and that's about as enough flank pressure as you would need. Z1 already knows. Look how fast he absolutely was. Just repositions, and this is damage on the Wardoom. But he's gonna buy so much time, and he just gives a siren off as to where he is, and Dosups and squad run over and finish him off. Tooney in the back line as well misses a couple of shots that could have helped put Cuskcutie under pressure, but still falls again. So the tail so far has been Xenoc taking good positions, having the first shot, but then getting coordinated attacks back onto them by Astral Authority.
Kakanuk does take out drop bodies though, 81% for Astral Authority on the point. They're just trying to bully their way on, and this is where things start to get a little bit dangerous. They have the double frontliner to do it. Dosups goes for the planted, but doesn't, or excuse me, Avuli goes for the plan, but doesn't get the Fernando shield put out in front of him. So 93% on Astral Authority, and they lose the fight.
And it was successful. They did bully their way into this game. And if this works out for them, they'll be saying, wow, we need to do this more often. We might see a complete strategy adjust for this team. But right now, Tooney looking to finish off the kills. This is a great spot for him. He's going to get some damage off. He's going to dash away. Will he stay alive, though? No. It looks like he will see that Drogos goes for a different target, and he will slay even better Tiny Fetus and then finish off Tooney at the end of it all. So gets the champion that he wanted anyways, and gets Tooney as a consolation prize.
I mean, that's why Drogos is so valuable against double frontliner. Dragon Punch just immediately turns the fight around, and he almost picked up the Maeve, right? So, and he could just target switch mid-flight. You don't know really what he's going for when he activates that ability, and Drogos showing why he's picked up more often than not.
And when you talk about frontliners too, Nick, I think we look at a lot of times the HP, but I think when you talk about really when teams picked up double frontliners, it's a game plan. That's a decision they made. We want more sustain. We want to be able to outlast in these fights. We're trading up some extra damage for some more health, and that is what our team is balanced around. So Drogos is even more impactful, not just because he's getting 5k HP over 3, but it's because he's taking off a part of their game plan that they're counting on in order to win. They need their double front lines to provide that same amount of sustain, to give them twice the sustain. Dragon Punch ends it right away, and that is one of the reasons he is just unstoppable right now in this meta. Minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. Astral Authority looking like a 2-0 push could happen again.
Morrowind did come out from Grover. I can see Dosups battling it out with Tooney in the backline right now. Here's a Dread Serpent, though, coming out, trying to get things stabilized for Xenoc, and it looks like it's done its job.
Grover getting pulled, but it's basically to no avail. Tiny Fetus is firing in the background, and look at this aim. Tiny Fetus, a very excellent Ruckus player. He's got an advance very soon, but he's not going to need to use it because Z1 is aggressive with the Victor yet again. Maybe he preferences Victor in this meta. We don't know what's going on in their minds. But
very,
I mean, this is
very pushed up right now.
He's pretty confident here.
Careful, careful, careful. You could get impaled and immediately burst. We saw that happen once before. Now moving around on this high ground. I like this flank coming out from Astral Authority. Dosups on this Cassie taking favorable positioning up on the high ground there, but just the pincer maneuver here is going to be able to take him out.
Good advances as well by Tiny Fetus. Just moves to the left and the right, baits out Avuli, and Tooney puts him back to sleep. Smidgen finds a kill onto Wardoom, and now it's really looking like Xenoc's moment here. Eye drop bodies will fall, and Z1 Unknown still running around like a race car here with Victor. We can even take a look. I'm pretty sure this is a result of some modified speed thanks to his cards, Nick. I usually don't see Victors run this fast.
Yeah, gets impaled into the wall, and that's what we were worried about. That's the pick, but they did not need to give up. Wardoom is here to start the overtime. The Midnight is available here. Tooney could elect to pop this to just try and defuse this push coming from Astral Authority. Here's the Dragon Punch. Could be a good time here. He's just going to wave his way around, gets through the Hexifier, and is able to take out Tiny Fetus before going down to Smidgen.
Ancient Rage will add the extra life of a second frontliner, and so essentially this has been countered very heavily by Kakanuk. It is all even again. One frontliner versus one frontliner and a couple of damage dealers, but now that Tiny Fetus is back, this is looking more and more of a dire and hopeless chance for them to be able to push. And very, very interesting interactions there. Kakanuk really saving the day, becoming 2 tanks himself with that Ancient Rage.
Just having enough ultimates, I think, to stabilize that. So if Bodies goes for the Makoa, then the whole Hexifier gets off. Maybe he kills a couple people and the fight's over then. So Top Bodies is kind of forced to go take out the Ruckus while he's hexifying. But now that opens up Kakanuk to be safe to use Ancient Rage and just almost win the team fight. Or, you know, at the very least, stall it long enough for his respawns to come through, which is exactly what happened. He didn't kill everyone. He only got 1 kill off his Ancient Rage. But his Ruckus was able to respawn. Smidgen was able to respawn on this Maldon, but just keep the fight going. So 1-1 here, trading out 2 ultimates for 1 though. The Whirlwind did come through very late from Cuscuity to try and keep everyone alive. So all things told, 2 ultimates to 2 here heading into the point fight.
2-0, very different story than 1-1. Kakanuk starts things off right with a good hook, but he will get impaled, and that will be damage onto him. Shell spin. It's going to save his life for just a second, but not too long. Kakanuk's streak will go down in flames thanks to the Dragon, and especially the Bow Brothers in the back line. Avuli with a double kill. Dosips rolls in, tries to find some more. They've zoned well enough now. Astral Authority in authority of this game, 36%. And counting.
It's just, I feel like their composition, right? They have so much damage to pick this double frontliner apart from a distance. The Grover, the Cassie, the Shaolin, the Drogas. Those are all characters that have no fall-off, or in the case of Grover, get better.
Yeah.
The longer his shots are, big roll in from Dosas, very aggressive, is able to take out Z1 Unknown. Wardoom is here to bail him out as well, and Xenasi are just looking in pieces in this team fight. They are spread all over the map.
Dosips, my goodness gracious, the length of those dodge rolls has caught even me surprised. And I believe it was the same effect to Z1 Unknown, who tried to barrage from a safe 100-yard distance and found Cassie right at the side of his head.
Teleport 4.
Right, he's running blink 3 pretty much. And it looked like she might have had Wormhole because of the way she was able to get back to safety as a result of that. Dosips on the 6th streak here. 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And Astral Authority again in the lead. Can they make a push this time though, or will Xenasi stall them again?
Midnight trying to get things going here for Xenasi. The blind planet comes out from Avuli. He's not able to get much done with that as expected, but Bodies picks up a kill on Drogas. His team is clumped up. They're staying together, just trying to be safe with each other. There's the Immortal. Try and keep Cuscuity alive and punish this overextension from Xenasi.
Dooney very active on this Maeve. I love the way we're seeing him play here. Gets up into the air, sees a lot of targets, but Avuli comes back with the Revenge Planet and finishes off the cat herself, and she will go back to the streets begging for another life. She's back to base for just a little while. I Drop Bodies will finish one off, and he's looking to finish off Smidgen. Doesn't quite connect on the fire spit though, and Kakanuk misses a very crucial hook that definitely would have sent I Drop Bodies to the base, I believe.
That Whirlwind was beautiful coming out of Cuscuity, keeping them all alive, trading out positively in the ultimate department. Xenasi spending a fair bit. Hexafire, Midnight was used, and Dread Serpent to not even get a clean wipe in that team fight. Tooney is spotted out here on the back line, but Drogas is not the ideal champion to chase her down. A minute remaining here. Moving back in now for the pincer is Tooney.
This is exactly where he wants to be though. I Drop Bodies picks up 1 kill, but they turn their back. And that means Z1 Unknown, Kakanuk can pick up Dosips and Avuli. So despite Bodies staying alive in this engagement, they've lost 2 damage dealers again, and they have stalled Astral Authority's push. What is it going to take for Astral Authority to break through this stolid defense by Xenasi?
It could come down to better use of ultimates. It could come down to just getting into the later stages of the game, more Wreckers, more Cauterize, shutting them down. But these Whirlwinds from Cuscuity have been so great. You know, late game Cauterize is going to hurt Astral Authority a lot as well.
And again, I Drop Bodies takes down Ruckus, but he falls in the process. And so no Dragon, no Ruckus, but it does look like there will be no Makoa as well. Great impale from Avuli, and he forces away any attempt at aggression by Z1 Unknown, and again looks for the withdraw, tries to finish off the kill, can't do it though. And the blind from Tooney will be strong enough to get 1 kill. The Pounce will give him a little bit of help, but he'll die now. It's all up to Makoa here with the Whirlwind coming out from Grover. He's on the point, he's got Ancient Rage, but he's got to hope that he doesn't get knocked off too far away from it as a result of I Drop Bodies. There's the Fire Spit, and it doesn't help. Here's the Ancient Rage, his health slowly dwindling down, but he's bought enough time for Ruckus to come back in the fight, and the push, despite all of that, is successful by Astral Authority.
Cuscuity's Whirlwinds are disgusting right now. He has clutched so many team fights, sustaining his guys through this firefight, through these ultimate dumps from Xenasi. And Grover, it's not easy to do, right? Because even he's got to hit it reactionary to these Dread Serpents, because Grover he can't be CC'd out of his ultimate, but he can be CC'd during his ultimate, if that makes sense. So you could stun him, fear Grover. It's all stuff that's going to be able to happen, but the ultimate effect, the whirlwind, the healing, the area of effect sustain is still going through, and that was something we saw happen in the reactionary whirlwind with the Dread Serpent, keeping everyone sustained through Xenacy's team fight. Just Cuskey, I can't praise him enough. This Grover play is out of control.
So much falling into the hands of Grover and the healers in these games. Maldamba with Smidgen here is doing his job, though, for his team. Xenacy keeping their healer alive and taking down iDrop Bodies. A great start to this team fight, and they're up on the upper rafters. Meanwhile, Avuli Tooney battling it out. Bow versus Dagger, seeing who's going to come out the victor in that one. And Victor on the side of Xenacy by Z1 Unknown, looking to try and finish off his team's chance at a victory. Going to use the barrage, not going to be able to find the Shaolin. Will get great damage onto Cassie, though. Throws a grenade. Dosips cleans up two.
Wow, he stayed alive.
And still is alive here. Z1 Unknown doesn't look to his right. He looks up in the skies, and unfortunately, his death comes from the ground.
That's just unfortunate. The barrage comes up to try and punish the planet, but Avuli cancels and quickly withdraws out. Dosip somehow, after eating one of the barrage shots, 1,500 of Cassie's 2,000 health, stays alive, kills the Makoa, comes out with a double kill in the team fight. Here's a Dragon Punch. That's going to skunk Xenacy's push here with 99% on this capture point. There's not much left for Xenacy to get done here.
And with Drogos here, a Fire Spit and a Salvo, it's almost all but over here. Tiny Vetus with a great kill. Tooney
They turn it
gets
around.
one as well. 93%, 97 for Xenacy. Could they keep this alive? Astral Authority were on the brink of capturing this, but 3 quick kills could mean and do mean that Xenacy stay in this game.
Against
2-3.
all odds after the Dragon Punch. Xenacy don't even slow down. It looked like they sped up towards the point, and that maybe took Astral Authority off guard a little, because teams don't tend to do that when they get Dragon Punch, push harder into your defense, but Xenacy somehow come out on top.
It's a pretty amazing scenario we're looking at here. Both of these teams playing at high levels, countering each other in so many different ways, and so effectively at different times. And it's almost a roll of the dice whether that time ends up aligning with you having 93% on the objective and ready to close it out, or whether you have 60 and you still have to fight one last time before you get the objective. So far, things have gone in Xenacy's fashion in this round, and they will now be able to push this. They've got a lot to go through, though. There's a lot of strength here from Astral Authority being displayed in their performances.
Xenacy could tie it up here with the conversion, but Astral Authority one more payload capture, and they are going to take this series. They are already up 2 games to 0. The game's going to be paused here by Cuskey. A couple of ultimates on the board for Astral Authority. The Immortal, the Dragon Punch once again, getting that charged up very quickly, and the Whirlwind that's been so clutch, so key in keeping Astral Authority alive through, very notably, the Dread Serpents coming out of Xenacy's Smidgen. That's the kind of the main setup that they're looking for to win their team fights, to get their guys set up. Kakanak's been doing a great job as well, playing around this Dragon Punch with the Ancient Rage, because a lot of times Xenacy will pop a lot of ultimates, almost forcing Drop Body's hand to Dragon Punch somebody else, whether it be the Maldamba, whether it be the Ruckus, and then can get the clear distance, the clear window where that Ancient Rage can come out safely. Because Dragon Punch is a percentage damage based all. It doesn't care how much HP you have, whether it's 1,800 on Eevee or 10,000 on the Ancient Rage.
So he's going to get a lot of value if he's able to wait and patiently just kind of choose the right moment to use it with Makoa. But he's also been finding consistent value in this game. So it's not that he hasn't been effective. Maybe he hasn't maximized his value on the Drogos. That's definitely possible. But I think he's still done what his team has needed him to do. With 1 minute and 6 seconds left, Xenacy are on the precipice of tying this thing up. Astral Authority thinking, hey, we have this in the bag, 3-1. There's no way we're going to lose this. But if Avuli goes down to Tooney, and this is looking like an aggressive zone from Kakanuk and Tooney, I don't know if they're going to get back.
A lot of momentum here, and only a couple ultimates they have, but do they spend it? No.
They didn't even go out.
I think that's the wise decision here, because Xenacy, they don't have the Dread Serpent. They just use Barrage as well. They almost have Ancient Rage and Hexafire here, but Astral Authority, they can take that gamble, right, and maybe keep it the 3-2 scenario, or they can say, all right, we're going to take the hard advantage going into this 3-3 scenario with our ultimates. We have the confidence that we can win this fight. That's what they're saying to me right now.
And they're also saying, a little bit of me that there may be some frustration because if you try, you never know. I mean, when you turn these things
I felt
around,
like it happened very quickly.
You never know what can take place. One ultimate we've seen, a Hexafire, an Ancient Rage, can just stall a fight and give you enough team for your teammates to spawn. At that point, you have the advantage with a few ults. You may not want to use it, but hey, how valuable is it to have a 3-2 lead versus a 3-3 tie, and anybody's next point fight wins the game. We'll see here if the gamble was worth it.
Nice fire spit.
Fire spit. That one not so much, off the mark a little bit. Kakanuk with the shell shield as Makoa, a big target for iDrop Bodies here, but he does not have the ultimate available to use, unfortunately. He's going to be looking actually for Kakanuk again, but he's just taking it, looks to pull him down, and iDrop Bodies goes down, doesn't win the battle between Makoa and now Evuli taking down Toonie, but Hexa-firing and damaging Ruckus right now is forcing them all out, with Smidgen keeping his team alive.
Evuli does. And it's a takedown. Toonie Doseps gets Z1 unknown. Tiny Fetus answers back onto one. Great hook to pull Warden back up onto the high ground. But this Fernando is just so tanky, and he's going to be able to retreat to Cuskcutie, get that burst heal from the Blossom, and Drop Bodies gets hooked out here. He could get punished. Thrust up in the air is going to keep him safe for a time being, but the continued fire from Ruckus isn't enough, and Bodies finds the direct impacts onto the turtle.
So important for Bodies to get that kill, because if Drogos would have gone out of the fight yet again, that would have been very, very bad. Now Tiny Fetus up on the ledge, wants to take matters into his own hands. Z1 unknown cleans up Evuli, repulsor field, mitigating the damage. They don't find the Drogos yet in the upper ledge, and they're letting him charge up a Dragon Punch. He doesn't know where he's going. Oh, he does. He's taking down Kakanuk, but Kakanuk is almost going to be able to get back into this fight, considering that they've got 96% on the objective, and Astral Authority have a long way to go.
Wardoom is here. The shield is up. They're ready to go. Salvo is primed and ready. iDrop Bodies just waiting on the heal from his Grover. Evuli tensely waiting out the respawns from Astral Authority. He spots one going up onto the high ground. Everyone now spotted out, as Doseps has just popped Scout. 72% climbing for Astral Authority. This is going to be very tight.
The problem is they've got Doseps in the backline. They've got Wardoom in the backline as well. Evuli in the backline, and they've got no pressure on the point now. Everything is on them, and Z1 unknown gets cleaned up with an axe to the dome, and that is an Astral Authority victory, a 3-0 sweep over Xenoseed. Things have changed, Nick, and
that's beautiful.
That's
a beautiful win there.
Things have changed for the better.
That zone was masterful coming out from Astral Authority, making that pincer maneuver between, I believe it was Evuli and Wardoom, deep in the backline there, that cut off so much of the reinforcement, forces Kakanuk. He just has to get on the point almost by himself and just slowly picked apart in that last team fight. Astral Authority were down, but I feel like it's always better to be down, win the fight, and be in control of it as it comes down to the wire. You know, no matter where you're at, it makes it very difficult for a team to try and just trickle in without a very organized plan.
Look at this, 27-5 from Wardoom. 5 deaths in this game. I mean, the closest is 8 with Cuskcutie. Everyone else is
tough to kill.
And Smidgen's 9. Everyone else is in the teens. I mean, 70,000 damage too on a Fernando. I mean, he's 11,000 more than
That's a lot of damage on everyone. 74 for Cuss.
I mean, this was a great gameplay, but Wardoom specifically, when your frontliner only gets 5 deaths, that is that's just Wardoom being a great player right now. That's just Wardoom knowing Fernando so well. He knows when he can stay alive, and that's what makes him work, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes him annoying. That's what makes him good.
We barely saw Fernando at all yesterday.
And that's why when you use him to his highest potential, he can be frustrating. Flankando is a thing, you know.
It's the Wardoom wiggle. It's all that jumping.
It's the jumping, man. It must keep him alive. I don't know what it is, but 5 deaths, pretty exciting stuff. And congratulations to them. We've got, obviously, a great weekend going on. 2 big things happening. There's a lot of ways for you to get crystals here. We've got a free crystal weekend happening. If you get your first win of the day, you'll get 30 crystals per win. I believe that can be 3, so 90 times every day you're playing this weekend could be quite a bit for you if you want to get a head start on some chests later on. And we've also got a great thing happening with the legendary cards in PTS.
That's right. After you get those first wins of the day in live, head on over to the PTS. If you haven't already downloaded, you can do that at forums.paladinsgame.com and get access to these brand new legendary cards in the Season 1 patch. You'll have them all unlocked on the PTS. Make sure you get in there, figure out which ones you like the best so you know what to target by once they go live.
That was going to do it for this semifinal. We'll be on the other side of the bracket coming up right after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a sec.
kept beating her. They feel sad for her, but an order is an order. She was a prisoner there in the light. She stood, but she knew they couldn't break her. And by the shore, the bombs were falling with the snow. You wrote to me, 'cause she wanted me to see. You wrote to me, 'cause she wanted me to see. 'Cause she wanted me to see. This is Ellie. This is Ellie. Wanted me to see. You wrote to me, 'cause she wanted me to see. 'Cause she wanted me to see. This is Ellie. 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 What a way to go. What we don't know isn't worth a dime. And we nail them all. I know you're the worrying kind. Is there any way? Or do you like not being found? In time the light will fade. Don't you know I worry about you all the time? Anytime you wanna leave tonight, the morning comes and goes. But I'll always be your shoulder What a way to go. This incarnation is really wide. The air is getting warm. I know you're the worrying kind. And is there any way? Or do you like not being found? In time the light will fade. Don't you know I worry about you all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. Don't you know I worry about you?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Paladins Open Bracket Qualifiers. My name is Rene. This is High Res Pretty Hair. We're catching up with the second semifinal. Before we do that, though, we've got some cool promos coming out for you. The Valentine's Chest, even though you may have already had Valentine's Day, gone on a wonderful date, walk on a sunset beach with your lover or your soon-to-be, you have the opportunity to then or lovers, excuse me. I don't want to be, thank you, production. I don't want you to think that it's all over there. No, the fun, the excitement, the anticipation can continue with the Valentine's Chest. You can find yourself some cool skins, a Sky Epic outfit there, a lot of things to
just be a general good person and buy
keep the heat going. Keep it spicy.
That's right.
Yeah. Have some fun, huh? I made some lava cakes for Valentine's Day, by the way. They were pretty good.
You're about that, dude.
I'm
Is that
telling you.
difficult? Like, what's the process? How
It
do you
is
do
very difficult because you have to melt the
like a
outside
souffle?
of the chocolate and keep the inside. So it's all about perfection of like when you pull it out. Because
Valentine's Day. It's all about when you pull out.
all right, let's move on to the map screen. I set myself up for that one.
Got him.
I set myself up for that one. I did. Can we get a map screen? Hot damn!
Gotta get a map screen.
All right, it's time to take a look at where we will be playing. It is Team Eager versus AGG. Timber Mill, Frozen Guard, banned out yet again, and it will be Stone Keep, where we just ended the last set, where we start this one.
Absolutely. Here, I'm excited. I don't think we've seen Eager and AGG clash just yet. AGG have been on a hot streak, frankly, recently, but Team Eager, I think their leverage of Torvald as we get into the champion draft has been their saving grace in a lot of situations. It's been phenomenal. It's been great to support. Bitey has been, I feel like, the earliest adopter of the character, the earliest proponent of it. He's, and that gives Eager the edge, right? They have the most knowledge inside and out of the character.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see if AGG value it, if they value it enough. There's no ban phase, right? So the opportunity for them to say, okay, we want to take a Torvald means we got to play a Torvald. And, of course, that doesn't necessarily fit into their strategy because they're coming in with a whole different idea. Maybe they are really more open to just countering. EU had that mentality. Now they're kind of adopting Torvald as well. But they used to just say, hey, we know how to counter him. You play him against us, we'll just wreck you.
The EU drafts were crazy yesterday, and they've been pretty tame thus far today in North America. But I think Eager, if the draft's going to get mixed up today, it's probably going to start here with Eager, because they're a team that they're not really afraid to kind of go there and to kind of pull out that stuff that maybe you're not. And there's value in that. You know, when you haven't played against something a lot, you know, it's difficult for you to do so. And a couple of interesting response. I almost say first picks, right? Because first pick's always Makoa, so it's cool to just like talk about the pick after Makoa.
Exactly.
So Shaolin and Droxus here is a pretty interesting way to start things off, especially on Stone Keep.
Yeah.
Where we don't see a lot of Androxus.
Well, you know, looking at, I think we have Prince Danny TV on the squad, and
that's very true.
Really,
just like we haven't seen a lot of Fernando, but then Warren Doom.
Exactly. So we like to see, you know, these players on their comfort picks. Very well known for his Androxus. Maldamba for Eager, again, this is a very strong draft. They've got Makoa, they've got Torvald, they've got Maldamba. Fernando's going to come out, but dealing against Makoa, against Fernando, Makoa a lot of times wins that battle, unless it's some crazy War Doom stuff. Now they've got the Torvald to take away the shields. It's going to be really hard for him to have some sustain. I think AGG are going to go for maybe either let's push the damage or let's try and keep this Fernando alive.
I agree. And playing Fernando into Torvald, it introduces that delicate dance where you have to be very careful. You have to watch the recharge cooldown. You can't be a battery for Torvald's personal shield with Fernando shielded, because that's the best one to do. It's got the most HP. It's the easiest for Torvald to drain. So very careful when you use that. And it's been such a clutch part of War Doom, especially using that character.
This bomb pick, this could be everything. I mean, it's so hard to really accurately talk about the value of a Bomb King, because somebody comes in and plays so well with this guy, and Torvald could be just nothing. He could be absolutely melted by an excellent, who hits all his shots, Bomb King, and be out of the fight, not an issue. We'll see if Rovanic can continue his ways of how impressive he was last weekend in this same matchup. El Zulu will be on the Fernando, Grapple on the Shaolin, Bubble Boy on the Ying. Shout out to Bubble Boy there. Prince Danny TV as well on the Androxus.
They have a lot of wrecker on that AGG squad. We'll see how Bitey's personal shield on the Torvald will hold up Wi-Fi shell shield. Can that weather the storm? Stolzy on Cassie, Arai going for the Chronos first on Maldamba, and Shady Shades rounding things out with the only wrecker for this squad.
And it's on Gang, does a lot of damage per shot, so that's going to be solid. And of course, Rovanic will be a little bit more defensive here in his approach. And look at this damage already, just so effective. Throws the Poppy Bomb out right away and lands one mid-air, detonating it right on top of Wi-Fi, who is now running for his life. He could have a hook available, but Rovanic around the corner. I got you, buddy. And the Bomb King controlling this map again and helping to control space, just serving Arai up on a platter, or so he thought. Prince Danny TV gets caught out there, and the Snake stays alive as well as Cassie.
You thought that 50 HP health buff wasn't going to help you out there. Maldamba makes it out. Ruffy Bomb on the point. Bitey doesn't have any shield. There's the recharge. Comes out in the face of the Fernando shield, the protection bubble onto Wi-Fi to keep him safe. After grappling in grapple with the Dredge Anchor, he takes down 72% on the point and climbing for Eager.
Absolutely nothing to do when you get pulled in, hit with a bonus shot from Makoa, silenced by a Torvald and disarmed in the process. Of course, when that Makoa also has a shield on him, it's just injury to insult there. And that's a clear injury on the side of a team Eager. They will lose two thanks to Rovanic and Grapple, and Bubble Boy and squad will have a little bit of success here, but not before Stolzy can find a kill of his own. A great hook by Wi-Fi, gonna set Stolzy up. He needs to hit this shot. Bubble Boy looking to finish him off, and he will. Still on the point is Bubble Boy, making sure that he's contesting for Team AGG, and he buys enough time for El Zulu to get back.
Bubble's a master at you know, wiggling back and forth in between his clones, using them to body block, staying alive, and Ying can pump out decent damage over time. She can win that fight.
And she did right there. And of course, this is why we even see AGG contesting back in the day of Paladins. You could see this entire experience wouldn't have been possible, of course, because of the Hyper Beam coming through. It means that Eager have this kind of clutch trump card in their pocket. But of course, Bob King, he's always had this in his pocket. He detonates two, but he gets detonated by Shady Shades. And that Eevee, this play from Eager is looking too good, too consistent, too controlled, and they will capture the first objective.
That was actually very close. If Rovanic puts a third bomb on Wi-Fi, he might have died there. Instead of just getting the two bombs on, letting him to get unstunned and come back with the Ancient Rage. Swings the team fight around. Dread Serpent still available to keep this push going. AGG only have the Heat Haze, so they spent a lot, but Eager still come out on top of the surprise plan. It isn't going to be good. Onto Arai, the Gord comes down, trying to keep Stolzy alive as he was forced off the high ground.
Great stuff. Stolzy falls, though, to grapple, unfortunately. Bubble Boy helping to have a game clone there, and Rovnik playing out of his mind yet again. Just so clutch on this Bomb King, making sure he hits when he needs to. But Arai, he's won a duel before. Will he win another one? Rovnik instinctively aware of where to Poppy Bomb, not even facing the direction, and finds himself in a safe corridor for now, staving off any defense. Wi-Fi looks for the hook, but just out of range is Prince Danny TV. Team Eager looking to push. 1 minute and 32 seconds still on the clock. Ice Storm coming out.
That was just a real bad accursed arm. Straight up. There's really no other way to cut that hook onto Rovnik. Going to take him down. Shady Shades with the double there. El Zulu's caught out in a rough spot as well. Away from his team, he's going to fall to Stolzy as well. 2 members remain from AGG to try and hold this push off for the time being. Team Eager still holding on to that Dread Serpent here, so they're probably looking to punch this through off the back of that ultimate.
Shady Shades in mid-air takes out Prince Danny TV. Rovnik kind of trying to find Eevee, but Eevee's going to have the first shot at him, but misses all 3, unfortunately.
It's so hard to hit people that aren't looking at you.
Yeah, because you can't predict where they're going. And, of course, you see there, the kill finally does come. Immortal stalls this push for a little bit longer, and Stolzy picks up one in the back line. That's huge onto his Bow Brother counterpoint. Has the blast shot available, going to dodge roll and help to finish off El Zulu in the process. It's all up to Eager to be the ones that can finish these staggering players from AGG and put them back to base, and they've done so, giving them a 2-0 lead.
And they didn't use that Dread Serpent that they've been sitting on for so long here, so a lot left in the tank for Team Eager. They get it done without needing too much in the way of ultimates. Double resilience coming out, triple resilience actually. Shady Shades just picks up his as well. Doesn't want to be stunned out here. A couple of things, the Impaler Arrow from Grapple, the Grumpy Bomb from Rovnik, the King Bomb from Rovnik, hell, even the Poppy Bomb is going to be negated by this item.
I love it. I feel at home. I feel bliss. You know, Resilience finally seeing its day. I think Eager have completely owned and just said, we love this item, because the difference between getting hit with a Grumpy Bomb or not, sometimes you can control it, sometimes you're just forced to take the overtime, but being stunned for 3 seconds or 0.3 seconds is the difference in your life in that fight, and that is why they have Resilience, and they'll be upgrading that to Resilience 3 if possible. We see Elven Path even go for Resilience and the Rejuvenate to get a very efficient build that gets you a lot of stats that those frontliners can use so well, don't want to get stopped. Positioning and supporting their teams, being where they need to be in the fight. El Zulu finally aggresses on. There's the shield up, and they don't have a wreck, or Stolzy at least. He's got the cauterize though, so Bubble Boy's healing will not be as effective, but he runs right into Rovnik's bombs, while Wi-Fi is able to clean up the King himself. Bitey just shielding Arai, keeping him alive, and just keeping an eye on all of his teammates to make sure they stay nice and healthy.
Shady Shades is having a dominant game right now, just finding kill after kill, a lot of times by himself and a lot of times off the back of Wi-Fi. So it's 18 streak for the Eevee player right now. Getting into the back line, wisely goes into the ice block. One more bomb from Rovnik's going to do it, but it will be Bubble Boy contributing with that mirror laser beam.
Look at Rovnik still. I don't even understand how Rovnik stayed alive. It's because of the Yin clone as well and the lack of focus. Stolzy picks up 2. El Zulu, though, looking to stay alive and finish Stolzy. Finally, Bitey is there. Arai with a great reload stun, but he will fall thanks to Prince Danny TV. The BM emote doesn't come out this time though, because Shady Shades kills him before he can respond. Bitey so low, and that means no more protections in this fight. That's a big deal. AGG may have swung this momentum into their favor, at least for the time being.
They need to get some pressure onto Bubble Boy right now. He's just dropping clones into this fight, free firing under absolutely no pressure. Shady Shades finally snuffs him out, but here comes the King Bomb from Rovnik. Once again, big stun onto the point, but he goes down. Resilience, boys.
Keeps him alive. Wi-Fi able to finish off Rovnik. No bombs for you, he says. And the objective captured for Team Eager. So that right there is the power of resilience, especially against this kind of counter pick, this pick that is, you know, Bomb King. That can be so effective. We've seen Rovnik, but hinges so much on getting the King Bomb stuns, bursting down the tanks who are then stunned, getting the Grumpy Bomb zoning, having that be a threat. If that becomes less and less of a threat, less game, towards the end of the game, Rovnik becomes less and less of a valuable pick with this Bomb King.
Already on the back foot, AGG retreating to the area immediately surrounding their spawn room as the payload rounds its final corner, about to break the base. So Eager, let it just being in favor of taking a lot of positioning there. There's the dredge anchor. Shady Shades is there to follow it up. He's been there almost every time. That's such a powerful, high impact hook that comes through. That's over 2,000 burst damage with the shot from Eevee, combined with the bonus damage from Makoa here. Grapple goes into the planet here just to shred through the shell shield, but with those Torvald bubbles here, Wi-Fi is just more than happy to take that 1v1.
These are bad fights for AGG to be taking, and I don't think this is good decision-making coming out from them. Rovenick in particular, you think you can burst down these targets, but you don't have the stun advantage on them anymore. The Grumpy Bomb's less and less of an issue, and if you try to detonate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bombs, and meanwhile you're dodging and hiding as well, you aren't going to have the opportunity to kill him before his Dredge Anchor comes up and he bursts you down. This should be the end of the game. Shaolin jumps down in the heat haze though, so buy them a little bit of time. AGG have one last chance to stall. The stun comes out, but in sweet, I think just victory. Eager claimed this one 4-0.
That was a great hyper beam from Bitey over there on the side, getting the payload even closer there. There was a very small window in which AGG had to defend there, and like you mentioned, they had to send the Shaolin and the Bomb King down in heat haze. Grapple, the only one pulling a lot of weight there. 13-11 on the Shaolin. A lot of damage coming out from Rovenick there onto the double front line. He was landing good shots there in that game, but top damage goes to Shady Shades. 28-2 on this Eevee 18 streak. Absolutely phenomenal game.
He did have a great game. And as we head to the next maps, I want to just mention this thing as well about Rovenick. 53,000 damage. I think the decision for resilience, it's because Bomb King's bombs and his stuns are very effective, and if they hit you, it could be very bad for a team composition. But more so, I think they played to the game, not the idea, right? I mean, I think if Shaolin is having 53,000 damage, having the same impact Rovenick is, maybe those are havens. But I think they realize Rovenick is beating us. Rovenick's the one we want to counter here. So we'll pick up the resilience because, hey, we like this pick. It helps with Shaolin, but really we can't let Rovenick go off like he's been doing. He's the game changer.
A lot of what King Bomb is looking to do, right? It's not even to get right under you and get all 2,500 of that damage. It's just utilizing that stun to get the couple of follow-up bombs there, and that's what resilience was largely preventing in that game. Eager answer the Makoa pick with a Fernando and a Maldamba this time.
And I don't mind the Fernando coming out from Eager, especially with their propensity to take Torvald. AGG have not shown that similarly, though. And will they go for it in their first 3 picks? This is a question mark they've got to answer here. This is where Eager's going to be looking to pick some information off. What do they value? What are they looking towards? Drogo's a safe pick, but again, not looking to directly counter what Eager want to do. So they're going to pretty much have the ability to run kind of the same exact comp that they did.
This is a switch up here from AGG, and they like to kind of substitute the Bomb King for the Drogos, I feel, in a lot of ways. But Drogos is safer, I feel like. He's doing his poking from a distance. He's hitting the shields just as hard. I mean, King Bomb, you don't have to put yourself in the fight, whereas a Dragon Punch, you kind of just guaranteed that kill, right? Resilience can't help you there. Haven can't, nothing can help you survive a Dragon Punch. Except Fernando Ultimate. They do have the Fernando on their side.
And that is a very important pickup for them. The Ruckus not taken notably in these games where we've seen Ruckus have a huge impact in especially North America and Europe. So not really favored. Bubble Boy on the Ying, I think that's a great decision. Whether it's the best healer or not, of course, you only have Grok, Pip, or Grover to choose from at this point. I think Ying is just great to keep Bubble Boy feeling confident. He's been playing extremely well
his comfort pick,
on this comfort pick. And if you can get it, why not? Here's the Victor.
Bitey loves his Victor, for sure.
And it can definitely be valuable. I mean, if you have Cassie, Maeve, and Victor running at you, and they're just coming at you from different directions.
There's no flank pressure on AGG.
It can be a lot.
There's no flank pressure, frankly, and there's a couple of good ways to deal with the double frontliner, right? So you can go for the Drogos, but AGG have got that. And Victor's a good answer, frankly, to the double frontliner, especially when there is no front. It's just more situational. Drogos, a lot of times why we see him more often than not, is because there's a lot less counter picks to the Victor, or to the Drogos, excuse me, than the Victor. You really need kind of that Eevee or that Maeve to get in the back line and really tear things up, but AGG don't have that. They've got Prince Danny on Shaolin, Bubble Boy on Ying, Grapple on Ruckus, Rovenick on Drogos, and El Zula. No one that's really going to be filling that hard dive role.
And I could see Eager actually bringing out in a similar situation in the future. Maybe a Tyra. I don't know. I feel like they might throw some interesting stuff out there as well. They like to be the talk of the town as well. D69 pulling out the Tyra yesterday with Perdot. I think we could see something if they continue to kind of have great performances against AGG. But this matchup is tight. It's a semifinal. They're all going to be going back and forth here. It won't always be a walk in the park 4-0, especially if AGG have anything to say about it. Good zone coming out from Wi-Fi, though, in the back line. Rovnik, though, just doesn't have the opportunity to really impact the fight yet with his damage. But there it is. Prince Danny TV allows himself to pick up the pieces. Rovnik still alive, and now this Dragon can start to do some work.
Eager don't have the front liner, so they can't get onto the point just yet. They have to give it up to AGG for the time being. 39% and climbing with the Ruckus parked safely on the point here. Rovnik getting healed up. He's going to have to retreat for the time being. Under 1,000 HP. Nice grenade from Bitey. Another one comes out. That Grenadier card starting to pay dividends. And Bitey able to clean him up. Cleans up two, in fact. This Victor pick, when it's not under pressure, it's going to pump out so much damage.
Oh, almost hits the grenade on Prince Danny TV. And look at this. Aim down sights damage. He is able to get some eliminations, some assists off of a lot of those kills and take control back for Eager. 78%, now 84 on the objective. It is up to AGD to pull themselves back onto it, and I'm not sure they're going to have enough time to do so. In fact, they will elect to just pull back and set their defenses up as Eager move ahead 1-0 in this game. So 5 unanswered points here.
And they've got to leave the Ruckus on the point and send the Makoa after this victory. The Makoa and the Drogos are their most two mobile. Makoa's not, the most mobile guy, but in this AGG lineup, it turns out that he is. So they got to do something for Bitey right now. This is like similar to Bugsy's Kinessa, right? The difference here in just free firing under zero pressure, it just can't happen. Bitey is he's gonna break 100,000 damage in this game with ease, no matter how long it goes. There's so much clumping happening right now. The barrages are gonna be big as well. He's finding so much damage from his grenade resets. Like, look at this, bro. This is straight free firing. Finally an answer.
And I think that's more a result of his poor position. I think he went down and just got confident. Prince Danny TV catches him off guard, activates a Hexa heat haze, and actually ends up putting him under pressure. But Stolzy smells it out, and so does Shady Shades. And again, continues. Look at this reset. 9 lives gives him the healing. Double kill. Brow, will he stay alive? No. Bubble Boy comes to answer the call that his team needed, and that was a huge swing. But here's the Dread Serpent. The 20% damage amp means Makoa goes down, and he's going to look for the stun off the reload. Dread Serpent so powerful in that fight, just fearing the enemies and allowing Stolzy the type of room he needed to take Bubble Boy 1v1 Cassie versus Ying in the back and make sure he cleaned up their healer. So now 5 seconds without any healing. This push is almost at its precipice. It's up to Eager right now, I think, to make it happen.
Wi-Fi taking a lot of damage, however. Gonna be tough to push his way back out into this double front line, into that Ruckus. Eager only have a couple of ultimates here, Midnight and Immortal. Nothing really to punch this one through. Bitey goes down, that's a lot of their team fight damage. Stolzy is here, but all he's got is the Scout and his crossbow. Hooked in his Wi-Fi. That's not going to be good if he goes down, but he is able to narrowly escape around the corner with the rockets from Rovnik. Says no more. This man cannot retreat. And just great use of that mobility, keeping up. Rovnik has to fill in. He is the most mobile champion on AGG's roster right now. He has to be the one to chase these kills down.
Pretty interesting watching that from a Rise perspective as well. The healer just flailing, reaching out.
He should have slithered.
Please, it's like...
should have slithered in there and took it for his tank.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like watching the helplessness.
Bird would have done it.
Somebody you were trying to heal. Bird wouldn't have. Bird doesn't die. He wouldn't have given up
You're right.
That's 20 cents in the deal right there.
Feels like you bitch. That's 20 cents.
He's going to be healing up right now, though. Gord will fall down, and he's looking for stuns. Arai just surveying the battlefield as the reload stun attempts to go down and just wanting to see where exactly should he prioritize throwing it. A great Dread Serpent from Arai is going to clean up so much. Bubble Boy finds himself still alive in this fight, and Stolzy takes down Rovnik and grapple in the process. Though, again, their healer alive, well, wasn't able to do much in terms of that damage onslaught happening.
Great Dread Serpents every single time here from Arai. They're just... It's hard to talk about him because he's so consistent with them. He hits them almost every time. 20% damage amp is the talking point about that ultimate. It's the little known kind of sprinkles on top for that ultimate.
Big sprinkles.
And with Bitey and Stolzy being there to follow up, I mean, Victor already just does so much damage, and he's hitting his grenades every time. He's finding the damage amp. With the Dread Serpent amp on top of that, there is so much burst damage coming off the back of those
That's
ults.
his legendary. You have Victor's 20% down iron sights. That's he basically gets to season 1 before anybody else with that.
And he's leading the damage charts there with Stolzy, 44 and 42. Leaps and bounds, frankly, ahead of this Drogos, more than double the damage of the Dragon here, who is struggling to find that value, some of that damage here to get that Dragon Punch charged up.
Great shots by Bitey. 2 grenades means potentially about 1,500 damage each time he's just done to that team. It's forced them back. It's a lot out of their health pool, despite getting healed up by the Ying. And then just these open lines of sight. Bitey finds Rovnik as well with some excellent tracking. It's a very quick positioning just to get to the left-hand side again. Remember, he had the same exact moment last map, and it was Prince Danny TV on the Shaolin who shut him down with a quick planted. But now no one is even able to get near to him. These grenades
These are so troll.
doing so much work with the Grenadier card resetting the ability for him to throw it depending on how many enemies he hits each time he throws his grenade, almost guaranteeing 2 grenades in a row there. 90% for Eager. It's pretty much done and dusted here. This is a 3-0.
Bitey is loving this game right now. He loves Victor. I'm sure he's just having a blast here, just left-clicking people, uncontested all game long. The Barrage is here. The Grenadiers are great. And it's a card that works similar to Masterful. Victor's a character we don't see as often as Drogos, but Masterful is the card that resets the cooldown based on how many people. And Grenadier works exactly the same. So he gets 4 seconds off the 8-second cooldown of Grenade for every champion that hits. That's why you see him throw them back-to-back when he hits 2 or more champions. But the card itself has a 5-second, I believe, internal cooldown, so he can only get 1 reset per fight, really.
And that means a lot, though. I mean, you just think of the damage. If he's hitting 2 people, it's 1,500 damage each time. So it's basically 3K that you're just plopping out right away, especially for those tanks that like to go to the point. I would have thought El Zulu and AGG in this kind of a team, Nick, without the flanking pressure, would use more of the initial phase of this fight to have Makoa flank and really just kind of clump up and really go after the back line, get a hook onto Bitey, and see if they can start things out that way.
That's how a lot of teams play it, and that's what I'm saying. That's what needs to happen. Somebody has to shut down Bitey. He's just farming damage in the back line. Eager take that extremely quickly, and it's just off the back of not enough pressure on these backliners. Stolzy, he was up there in the mix a little bit more, but still getting a lot of damage done. But Bitey here is that's the big no-no, just to leave Victor's and Kinessa's alone, free firing under 0 pressure. He's going to be hitting all of his shots.
Stuff of nightmares.
You look at the first game where Z1 Unknown was playing Victor, how much pressure he was under and just wasn't able to do anything. That's where you need to put, that's the situation you have to put Victor in if you don't want to see him succeed. 65K for both of those backliners for Eager.
And it's very fundamental. And as we head into the next map, so I guess we can kind of talk about this. I'll bring this up. It's very fundamental when you look at drafting and the way that this game was designed, that each class is needed. Each class is an inherent counter as we head into the champion draft. Jaguar Falls will be where we play. Each champion is, that class is inherent counter to another class. With the damage class, you need flankers to be able to aggress onto them. Otherwise, that damage is just damage you can't really contest. I think that there's a bit of a, with some of the janky ways teams draft, there's a bit of a forgetfulness that, like, we need a flanker. We have to actually be able to aggress on their back line. Drogos is not a flanker. He can maybe be played that way. Bomb King maybe can shift, but there's kind of like a propensity for AGG to not really, in that last game at least, have anybody who can fill that role. And that's a role that if you don't have, you're going to be screwed.
Yeah, that careful game of rock, paper, scissors.
Exactly.
Eager with the Maldamba Fernando answering back on the Makoa. So AGG, we are on Jaguar Falls again, so the double frontliner does work here. It works well. No Drogos just yet. So they have the opportunity to go into that, but they would rather get the comfort picks online, it looks like. And Androxus, I think, is better on Jaguar than he is on Stone Keep. There are a lot more line-of-sight breaks for Androxus to get up and around and work with, as opposed to some of the longer lines of sights around the point on Stone Keep.
Yeah, and admittedly, I think Androxus is a good pick for HG. I think it gets Prince Danny comfortable. I mean, you can play the Shaolin, sure, but I think it just gets him on a real nice comfort pick. It gives him the flank pressure. They have the damage. This is a good draft. They've basically got the 3 classes they know they need and are going to be highly contested. I like that. Now, Eager themselves find more of a tankier composition in the backline as well. Cassie, she's got some aggressiveness she can use, and really kind of the onus at this point is for AGD to bring something that can affect the point, but also prove to be a traditional damage perspective. That's where Bomb King comes from. I actually like this draft for AGG in terms of who they've got on their roster.
But they do leave the Eevee open for Shady Shades, and he had a phenomenal game on it on Stonekeep. And Eevee's a character that excels well on Jaguar for the same reasons that Androxus does. Well, a lot of line of sight breaks, not a lot of ways to poke her out, and frankly, Androxus and Eevee can go either way, but those two characters probably won't be in the same vicinity. They'll be in each other's backlines for the most part. Shaolin, it's basically if Shaolin hits the Impaler Arrow, then he wins the fight. If he doesn't, then Shady Shades is probably going to take him out. Yeah,
and that's important to be aware of as we head into this next one. It's going to be potentially game 3 and 3-0 for Eager if they're able to win this one. AGG trying to claw their way back any way they can. Bitey will be playing the Ruckus. They'll start with Kronos. Cassie on the Stolzy on Cassie. Arai on Maldamba. Wi-Fi on Fernando. And Shady Shades will be on Eevee.
But these look like some very comfortable picks from AGG as well. You got Danny on Andrew, Bubble on Ying, Rovanik on Bomb King, Grapple on Shaolin, and El Zulu on Makoa. So finally, I feel like just a very comfortable draft here from AGG. This is the game, I think, where they turn it around.
They're looking to make an impact early on. Bitey on the Ruckus, won't take the aggression on the point. This is a very good tactic for a lot of teams. Just wait. Just try and poke out their enemies to where now they're on the defensive and they're under pressure with you having full health and on the objective. They can still win a fight against a half-health opponent who's aggressing onto them. But look at this. Rovanik, 2 clear bombs onto Bitey, and that just allows Grapple to finish him off quickly. Incredible play by Rovanik, and this Bomb King, if he gets the look onto Eevee, he's going to finish her off with no second thought. He is absolutely a monster, but look at that. Wow. Shady Shades gets the better of the trade. Pops Rovanik in the back. Prince Danny TV didn't expect such a blink from Shady Shades, but again, he's keeping his winning ways on that Eevee.
Moving back in now is Bitey. Almost all tied up here on the point. 2 kills for nothing for Eager, though, as they make their way back onto the point. Danny go for the Defiance. Misses one of the shots, just forced to get over the wall. But Rovanik, that's just so much damage. Tries to Poppy Bomb Stolzy off of the map. The dodge roll is going to be good, and the follow-up is here. Eager just eking their way out on top of these team fights. Elzu is going to try to get here on the point. He will shell spin in time. Going to box out with Bitey here, but Ruckus is going to win that 1v1 trade.
Bad spot. Gets stunned. Gonna be very, very unlikely that AGG can find themselves back here. The zone coming out from Fernando. Wi-Fi doing a great job of this, but there's the Grumpy Bomb, and now that Rovanik's back, there's gonna be a lot of pressure on here. That's gonna give some potential zone to AGG. Some zone they may need. A big reversal coming out. No. The damage from Fernando will help to clean up Prince Danny TV as well as Stolzy with the finishing touches, and Wi-Fi will head back. Fernando staying alive yet again. And the Gourd coming from Arai, playing out of his mind on that Maldamba.
Gonna be able to get him healed up as well, topped off. It's good for his ultimate charge as well, getting the last 10% on his Dread Serpent there with all that healing done. Rovanik doesn't get quite over the wall. He's gonna be pressured out in a big way. Wi-Fi looking for that dot damage to take down the King, and he will. 2 for 1 right now. Eager lead this team fight here, but still a long way to go on this payload push, so not all lost just yet for AGG.
And with 1 minute and 52 seconds, they've got plenty of time, both teams, to make sure their offense works and to make sure the defense stays strong. This is an important point for both teams, looking to find just crucial picks, wanting to maybe get a tank out, maybe get a crucial damage dealer that can help relieve some pressure on the push. Defensively also looking to really take the front line down, meaning they don't have the sustain. Even if they have the 1v1s, they trade out, they stay low. They don't have someone who can consistently keep that objective moving, and that's usually the tank up in front. But it's Wi-Fi who's actually now aggressing onto the back line. Arai now going to get the pressure of Rovanik, but he's been playing so well, I wouldn't be surprised. It is Arai wins the trade and escapes with his life on top of it.
Gets 1v1 by the Maldama. It's not, I mean, 450 a shot. It's, think of a Maeve hitting every other knife in your face there. The supports do damage in Paladins. They are not anything to snuff at. That one in particular, the Ying, can pump out a little bit more than people are used to. Stolzy about to roll in here. 50 seconds remain for Eager. One more team fight could get them there, but the payload is still a decent ways off where Eager are going to have to find some
Ooh.
convincing wins in these fights if they want to find this payload converted.
Rovanik with 2. Stolzy somehow makes it alive. Makes it out alive after getting impaled by Shaolin with such low health. And picks up a couple of his own. Wi-Fi. Fernando shield up and moving forward. Stolzy still alive. Shady Shades with the Ice Storm, but look at this. He's gonna go down thanks to Grapple. However, Wi-Fi will clean up Grapple, and Rovanik will find a kill of his own onto Wi-Fi. Arias here, can he 3v8 or 5v2? He's just all by himself, and he needs to make sure that he can get it, but he's gotten 3 himself here, and he's put a lot of pressure onto these people. Can he hit the stun? He hits it! Oh, Rovanik goes down thanks to Shady Shades. Arai still alive. I can't believe it. Immortal is here. This could mean the push for Team Eager.
Ancient Rage is here, though, trying to stabilize things for Team AGG. So much damage coming out from both squads right now. 10,000 HP proves to be superior as the Turtle is still alive, just now going down, but a King Bomb stuns out Wi-Fi on the point with a less than 1,000 health. The Ruckus has returned as well. Bitey, oh my god, all this covering fire coming through, and Arai is back. That's never good for your chances.
Oh my god, overtime is here. Arai cleans up Prince Danny TV, but the overtime will tick away.
No
Arai out of his mind, but unfortunately not enough for Team Eager to finish things off and make it 2-0. AGG holds strong and tie things up 1-1 here.
Phenomenal round coming out from the support player there from Eager. I didn't realize Bitey was there. I thought he was just going for the 1v2 with that Dread Serpent there. 1,400 credits for him. He got his ultimate charged back up to 63%, so he's finding a lot of good damage in these team fights. So definitely these are the difference makers support here. You see Bubble Boy weaving in and out of his clones, takes out Stolzy in the 1v1 on Stone Keep. You see Arai not afraid to go for those 1v2 scenarios, trading out with the Bomb King favorably in a one-on-one scenario as well. These are the impacts of plays that really will help the support players really separate, you know, the good teams from the pack.
AGG finding some damage onto Shady Shades, but not enough to really keep him at bay. And look at these blinks. Oh, the Poppy Bomb and the Ice Block together will send him immune and in the air. And Rovanik will go back to base thanks to the aggressive play from Wi-Fi. Whenever a fight's happening, he just shows up and adds that extra 400 to 800 damage that ends up giving his flanker and damage dealer the advantage. Arai healing up his teammates on the right-hand side with a Gourd and Mending Spirits to boot. Grumpy Bomb goes onto the zone, forcing them just off the objective for a little bit. And now Bitey goes back on, making sure he gets an extra 9, 12, 15% on the objective so he can take the lead for his team. And that's going to be it. Eager 2-1 without even a contest by AGG.
No answer there. No way to get back on. Just that solo frontliner. And a big problem here is I feel Stolzy's escaping with, you know, less than 100 HP in a lot of these situations and coming back to have the impact. They need to have that finisher, right? Prince Danny needs to be able to find his way into the back line. Rovanik's doing a fair job of it as well. The Ice Storm just to confirm the kill on the Grapple. Eager want to keep this momentum high as they push out of this payload.
Should have hit the spray there, man, because, you know, that was a solo ult if I've ever seen one. Just wants Grapple out of the fight, but don't go down with him. He's going to use the Ice Block very instinctively, but he finishes off the kill. Shady Shades, again, been a high performer for this squad. Nice shot out of the air. Shady Shades with the mid-flight direction adjustment, going to give himself a chance at getting a double kill here. Hit 788 on one of the pop shots in the back. He might blink again. It is available. And now he's focusing on Bubble Boy. Blinking back because he doesn't have a clean shot, but he wants to pressure the front liner who just falls. El Zulu has nowhere to turn. Another Dread Serpent from Arai should clean things up. And that's 3-1. Eager look in control of this game now. They are steamrolling.
A lot of momentum on their side. 3-1 situation here for Eager. 2 ultimates spent for the conversion, though, so only Scout and Immortal heading into this final round, but just so many credits on the side of Eager. They're leading in the net worth chart in a big way, I feel here. Stolzy with 900 in hand with the Cauterize 3 online, Wi-Fi with the Cauterize 3 online, and the Rejuvenate 2. So they're beating back a lot of this pressure from only the Cauterize 2s from Prince Danny and Bubble Boy. That's 60% anti-healing. The Rejuvenate going to cancel out 20 of that, putting it at an even 40%. So it's going to be very difficult. You know, 60% is when you really start to feel the Cauterize, and 90 is obviously incredibly impactful. But around, you know, 50 and lower with those Rejuvenates online, Maldampa's pumping out enough healing to where it's going to have an impact. It's going to swing the fight in the favor of Eager.
Absolutely, and you see here the reveal comes out from Cassie. Stolzy activating that to allow him to have some CC immunity as Cassie. Most people forget about that part, but it also gives his team vision.
Nice
Arai,
combo.
he's not forgetting about anything, keeping the kills coming his way despite being a support champion. We all forgot here in the studio because he is going crazy on that Maldamba, picking up kills and playing offensive in people's faces, and he's not even running the deft hands cheese build. He's actually hitting these very long reloads. Bubble Boy and El Zulu fall. Stolzy on a 12 streak now. He anticipating the wormhole possibly, but she's not going to go. But actually, no, he knows that his teammate just came from that fight, so Prince Danny locked in with the Ice Storm is going to fall.
Stolzy just having one of those games as well where I feel like he's not under a ton of pressure right now. He's getting these long streaks. He's getting out a lot of times with very little HP and coming back into fights. Eager
Feels good, man.
They come back into that fight. AGG had a great start to it. They had a Grumpy Bomb that they dredge anchored Bitey's Ruckus directly into, so he got stunned out, forced the Immortal to come out as well. So they had a great start to the fight, but just weren't able to follow through. They weren't able to really just punch through Eager's defense.
And here are the stats.
Yeah, look at Stolzy. One of those games, 72K on the Cassie, 30 and 5, 15 streak for the kid.
Pretty impressive stuff coming out from Eager as well. I mean, the synergy, and we talked about Arai. He was my kind of storyline for that game. Some incredible plays in that last part. I mean, even the fact that he was able to stall that payload for so long, I think it was just a very good showcase of what he was bringing to the table as a top-tier healer. Astral Authority, they have a top-tier healer as well. His name's Cuss Cutie. In fact, he used to play on the same team as Stolzy for Match Point. Disbanded now, but it's going to be exciting to see those teams battling back together. It's essentially Match Point from the past facing off with, you know, Stolzy's new and what he hopes is an improved squad, saying, hey, did you make the right choice in leaving, or should you have stuck with your boys?
We'll have to see here as we get into the finals for the North American Open Qualifiers. But before you do that, make sure you're downloading the PTS, hanging out, playing with the legendaries, figuring out what you want to go for once those bad boys go live.
I never know which direction it's going to be down there. So
It's all mirrored.
It's all mirrored.
Come to me.
Come to me. Guys, we'll see you in just a second. It's the finals. It's going to be great here in North America. Let's see if Stolzy's going to come out on top or if Wardoom, Cuss, Dose, and the boys will find some victory this weekend. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Open Bracket Qualifiers. It's almost the end of our day. It's coming to an end. We're sorry. We're sad for that. But you know what? There's a lot of exciting things that are happening even after this broadcast is over, Nick. Back some legendary things.
Legendary things indeed on the PTS. Head on over to forums.paladins.com. You can get that downloaded. Nice. You came to me. You can get that downloaded. Try out all the legendaries for free. They'll all be unlocked for you on the PTS. Figure out which ones you want to go for once they go live. And even then, you'll get one for free for every single character.
That's pretty awesome. I'm excited for it. And Mercy Kill Tyra. You ever try that,
That's
man?
the truth.
Mercy Kill Tyra is the truth. She is a lot of fun in that one. The map screen's ready for the finals today, though. It is going to be Astral Authority versus Eager. And again, we will see Timber Mill and Frozen Guard banned out. What's up with this, man?
Timber Bill, man.
Timber Bill and Frozen Fard.
Everybody hates Bill, dude.
Dude. I hate Frozen Fard,
Bill's
dude.
a dick.
Yeah.
Frozen Guard here banned out as well. We saw that yesterday between Burrito and Bugsy. Did you watch that? Did you watch that clip that Bugsy tweeted at us? That we missed his Kinessa triple.
I missed it. I missed it.
There
What was
there was
happening?
an
On Stone
awesome.
Keep?
You can actually see that the big stack in the little bottom left of the Frozen Guard. There's actually a line of sight there that you can shoot through the big tower stack in the corners off of Long Haul. And Bugsy actually blasted Lemonade through the big stack. Yesterday with Kinessa. It was hot.
Oh man,
hot.
get put on blast right there, man. That's not unfortunately.
We missed it on the broadcast, so I had to shout him out.
Yeah, I mean,
it was hot. It was nice.
He had some fun with that one, and of course, Burrito D69 was a great set yesterday. This one's shaping up to be a pretty good one ourselves. I think Eager, with the first pick Makoa, going to keep things simple moving forward. But this is where things start to maybe get a little more interesting. Drogo's been highly selected. But what do they go for here? Is it Maeve? Is it Fernando? Is it Maldamba, which we've seen a lot and Eager's used really well? It's actually the Shaolin coming through.
Yeah, they've been definitely liking this. Dosovs plays it fairly well. Body's playing the Drogos extremely well. So just after losing the Makoa, obviously as the first pick, I don't think Eager's going to be going for Fernando. Maybe they do just to get it off or get it away from Wardoom. But Astral Authority here, wisely, I think, saving that Fernando pick, just giving themselves space to draft. And they go for the Torvald here. So Astral Authority now with a lot of room to draft because they can just go for their Ying and their Fernando last.
And do they get a better draft? Because really, the third pick is what happens here. They get the Cassie instead. But that still leaves Androxus on the table for Stolzy. It leaves Eevee on the table for Shady Shades. They're going to get their Fernando. They might get their Ying. But do they have a better draft at the end of the day? That is really the question here because this is looking like a very comfortable draft for Eager. Maeve is selected. Will they go for the Eevee or will they go for the Androxus?
Probably
I can see this going either way. Victor. No. Wow.
So Stolzy Maeve?
Yeah.
Then who? No. Stolzy on Victor for sure. Shady on Maeve. Bitey on Torvald, Wi-Fi on Makoa, and Arai on Maldamba.
My God, we could have been more off on these drafts right here. Grover comes out at the end, so they didn't even want the Ying.
Cuss has been playing a lot of Grover on Stone Keep, especially he played it and did very well with it. So now, without the flank pressure, I like this pickup from Astral Authority because Cuss can just hurl axes at Bitey and just give some kind of pressure. You saw AGG, it didn't go well for them when they didn't pressure out the Victor player from Team Eager. Bitey going to be on Torvald, Arai, on Maldamba, Stolzy, on Victor, Wi-Fi on Makoa, and Shady Shades on Maeve.
And on the side of Astral Authority, Cuss Cutie on Grover, Evuli on Shaolin, Wardoom on Fernando, Dosips on Cassie, and I Drop Bodies on the Drogos. It is the tale of former teammates fighting against each other now on new teams. It is a tale of power rankings and adjustments in North America where teams are so tight. All four teams are within, I believe, 50 points of each other. Anything can be changed here. The next 3 to 5 games will mean a world of difference for these teams, and it is up to Stone Keep, the first map of the day, to start to distinguish the difference between these squads. A missed Bitey grenade, but it will end up in a lot of damage on the Cuss Cutie, who's getting the focus already after a great hook from Makoa. 24% already on the point by Eager. Fire Spit will push him back though, but Wi-Fi cleans up the first kill on Evuli.
Stolzy under a decent amount of pressure by Wardoom. Grenade up onto the high ground and pressuring out this Drogos. And Victor is a character that does well against Drogos. That hit scanned base fire, is able to keep track of the dragon no matter how fast he's flying around the skies, but Bodies comes out top of the trade with Shady Shades there on the high ground. 179 health left for Stolzy, but still holding strong on the point. Eager in total control of the zone, 75-0 here with the double front line.
Now getting pressured a little bit out is Stolzy on the Victor, going to run away, create some distance, and Eager give up the space to Astral Authority, and Wardoom is still up. This is not a good thing. They ceded their positioning, which is in many ways one of the biggest strengths on Stonekeep, having the aggressive place to be able to zone and use your strength of line of sights as a Victor, and of course looking to get these hooks off, but that's a big time Planet coming out, not going to save Avuli's life, gets Makoa down to half health and forces the shell shield. Eager is back, and will they have been back for good? This could be the permanent retake by Eager, and it is. The objective's been captured. That one was played very well.
Joseph's forced out as well. Stolzy able to clean up Doe, so the former teammates starting to take each other out here. Stolzy gets Bodies as well. Shady Shades found Cuss Cutie, and Eager are going to have a lot of momentum with this payload push coming around the first corner here. Astro Authority sticking to the high ground, it would appear, but they're taking a lot of poke from these grenades from Stolzy.
Wardoom still alive, and obviously one that's difficult to kill. We mentioned that. We saw how effective he was. People know his play style. They know it's almost better to try. If you can't burst him down right away, it's better to just let him go. But look at that. Stolzy says, no, I'm going to make sure you go down. Great grenade as well from Stolzy. Up in the air. He could get finished, and he will. And Vuli makes his mark in the game, finishing off Stolzy on Victor. And 1 minute and 36 seconds left. Push has not made it too far. Astral Authority still have a little bit ways to go.
Wow, but Bitey just walks all the way up to the payload here, and Bodies and Cuss just back off. Hyper Beam is available. It's not going to be spotted out by Bodies here, and Bitey not going to go for the Hyper Beam, as well as no one is really within range of him. The Midnight comes out from Maeve, so Bitey could look for the positioning here to land a Hyper Beam.
And he actually uses the recharge because he's under so much pressure and doesn't actually use it on Fernando's shield. So Wardoom pops it right after the recharge is done, and he keeps his shield up, and Bitey now has nothing to do except run and end up getting taken down by Team Astral Authority's damage dealer. So he goes back to base for the moment. And during this time, it is really important to kind of get the poke on first, Nick. People trying to make sure they move in as a 5-man team, but if one of your teammates gets to half health, that could screw everything up after you're grouped.
Yeah, having that Makoa pick, Team Eager are in the favorable position to find that poke damage, that pick off, that easy 4v5 scenario. Big fire spit through the door, poking out some of the tanks. Big directs.
That's it right
onto
there.
The cart there. Arai goes down after eating 3 rockets in a row. Here's the Hyper Beam.
Oh, no thrusts.
I mean, Body's going to go down. Doesn't have the thrust available. So Bitey with a great double kill on Stonekeep, but no one is there to follow up with him.
Stolzy ends up taking down Evuli, and Josephs has to be the one to finish Stolzy. Very good plays by both teams here, but it will be a full successful defense. Bitey with the the late Hyper Beam. You could have said he might have been able to do that maybe a minute earlier and had 2 at this time after charging it up again for a full round. So not sure if that's going to be benefiting him now. Break down the items as we head into round 2.
So as we get into the later stages of the game here, Team Eager's composition, I think, falls off a little bit harder just because they have the double frontliner. So the Wreckers are going to be a little bit more punishing. The Cauterizes as well, going to prevent Arai from doing a lot of the healing that he would like to do. But Stolzy, they're going to be leading in the credit department here. Team Eager capturing the first payload. Cauterize 2's online for he and Wi-Fi. Wrecker 2 already online for Shady Shades. Bitey has the Cauterize 1 and the Chronos 1, and just picks up the Rejuvenate 1 as well. Ultimate advantage is about tied up here, 3-3.
And with those advantages being so tight, and with this game being so tight, a lot of these players being so tight with one another, it is going to be maybe just one misstep, maybe one shield thrown up too early or in front of the wrong champion at the wrong time. That's going to make the difference here. Great plays, repositioning by Shady Shades, using the Pounce and the Prowl just to get into the right spot to use the damage that he's got. But a great shot by Evuli is going to put him in the wall, but not for long, because Nick mentioned resilience coming through.
Joseph's now very healthy, has the Scout ultimate available to him, in control of the point. Astro Authority 42% and climbing here. Joseph's rolling around, won't find the reset Just gonna let that one expire out. Goes into the planet though. Trying to find some big damage. Here's the whirlwind from Cuskey keeping everyone up as well through the Immortal. It's a great combination to top everyone back off after Immortal is there to keep him safe. Ancient Rage gonna be countered out by Dragon Punch though.
Nowhere to go. Try to get as much damage on it as possible using the lines of sight of the trees to hide himself from the cover of Stolzy. But Stolzy looking to hide himself from the cover of I Drop Bodies now. Astral Authority find themselves in command of this game. And Bitey and Stolzy in the corridor look to finish off some kills, but ultimately still falling to the pressure Astral Authority is providing. Arai doing some great job healing up his teammates in the back line and keeping everybody healthy as they try to defend now against the onslaught of Cuskey, Wardoom, and his team.
And this Torvald in this mate actually being a terror to this backline right now. Gets the Hyper Beam charged up as well. Bitey's caught out right now. Doesn't have the recharge, under 2,000 health. He's getting pocket heal, but it won't be enough. The Bully's able to take him out. Cuskey finds a long-range axe on the Shady Shades as well, giving Wardoom the space he needs to get full aggro into this lineup, but immediately has to throw the shield up. Bitey and the boys, Stolzy on that Victor as well, pumping so much damage into him.
That is just Wardoom though. Great aim by I Drop Bodies, and the positioning as well, making it so hard. Come into my cavern of death, says the Dragon, and nobody wants to do it. Only I escape from that one. He's at a 5 streak. I Drop Bodies waiting for his health regeneration to tick off, and a Fire Spit will just put and displace Bitey in such a way. 1 rocket, 2 rockets. There's the Hyper Beam.
Thrust again. Feels bad.
Again, he gets caught back, but look at the Fireball from Wardoom. Damage coming through. Will Arai stay alive? He will, but Bitey helps to give Stolzy the room to pick up a double kill. Wardoom can't find it, and the defense is strong here by Astral Authority. Bitey with a huge play, knocking off I Drop Bodies after the thrust. Not the easiest timing to always be aware of.
So they commit the whirlwind there, so not too much lost for Astral Authority, but only having to commit the Hyper Beam. Eager, I would say, come out on top of that trade. Just the Hyper Beam is a little bit easier to get recharged than the whirlwind there. 1 for 1 right now. Trading out is definitely going to be in favor of Eager, given the respawn proximity. Here's the Dragon Punch as well. No Ancient Rage to respond. Bitey actually goes down instead, and I like that because Makoa was already so low, so a great target switch there from Drop Bodies.
Saves him a little bit of time as well, but Bodies goes down in the process. Eager holding strong against this onslaught. Astral Authority, 10 seconds left. Wardoom waiting in the rafters. He's gonna get spotted out by Shady Shades though. He's gonna hop onto the Master Riding. Come find me, Shady Shades up to the task. Hits him with the pounce. 9 lives reset, but Wardoom will get back to the objective and throw that shield up, which nobody likes to see. But here's the issue. Bodies goes down to Wi-Fi so early on in this fight that they don't have the AoE pressure from Drogos. They've done well to bait the Ancient Rage from Makoa, and the Drogos, though, not there to counter it. He feels safe with no Dragon Punch coming to end his spree.
Wi-Fi couldn't make up his mind there. He had Cuskey backed up into a corner. He target switches onto the full health Shaolin, doesn't get him down, and Cuskey stays alive, heals back up, and has an impact on that fight. Astral Authority find the conversion. I don't know what the decision is there, just to let Cuskey live.
And he goes with the B for BM, Nick. Says a lot. There's a lot of tension between both these teams. There's a lot of history. I can't imagine that feels good to be.
There's a lot of pride on the
Eager.
line here in this series for sure. Like we mentioned, if you're just joining us, Stolzy used to be a part of Match Point with Cuskey, with Wardoom, with Dosups. Those guys were tight. They were at the top of the North American scene for so long, but after a not so great showing at the HRX Invitational, they parted ways. Smidgen going to Team Xenacy, Stolzy going to Eager, and the core here of Cuskey, Wardoom, and Dosups deciding to stick together, parting ways with Match Point, but now they have improved Astral Authority astronomically.
That's a great reference as well, but there's Cuskey. Gets 1 shot, a long-range damage, uses the Vine to get out of Stolzy's barrage, but actually takes 1, and a pop shot to the head with a crippling axe will end Stolzy as well. Almost gets over, but Cus just mistimes that one under pressure, and that is the issue with Vine. Sometimes not as accurate as you would like. Takes a lot of practice to make sure you hit those the way you need it. A little bit of momentum on those Vines too, Nick, so you could have gotten over that wall, but just didn't exactly do it correctly.
Absolutely, Stolzy running up the stairs now, 78% for Team Eager. So in a good spot right now. Grenade, gonna put some hurt onto the healer, but Wardoom always comes around the backside right when it's clutch time. The Midnight is popped as well from Shady Shades here, but Avuli's still able to get the first kill onto Stolzy. 9 lives reset, but the Cauterize is going to negate most of that healing. Avuli in the back line isn't able to get anything else done here. Dosup's taking a lot of damage from Shady Shades right now.
I love the positioning by Shady Shades. Gets healed up afterwards, so aware of where his healer is. The communication with Eager, the core of Eager, you could tell, is just used to playing with each other a little bit more awry. Shady Shades, Bitey coming off of his Wi-Fi as well before Stolzy was introduced into the squad, as just really has the synergy that they've had ever since they've been competing against the full match point roster. That's proving it to be more important here against Astral Authority, despite Astral Authority being up 3-2. Eager found a little bit of rhythm back in this one.
Shady got a little bit more than he bargained for up on the high ground. Wisely backs off. Bodies finds Bitey, as well has Dragon Punch charged up. A couple ultimates spent on the point for Astral Authority, so they're winning this one.
That's that act you were talking about.
Just based off pure skill here. Coming through, just trying to pressure out Stolzy, you're right. So Grover doesn't have to reload, so he can just constantly throw these axes in Stolzy's face to just put some type of pressure on him. You cannot allow this man to free fire into you.
He doesn't see Cassie there. Cassie could roll onto him if she's aware. Stolzy actually still does not see it yet. Very surprised, and now he's already out and about. Dosup's kind of almost lived with his life there. He got away, kind of scot-free, so to speak, without really being hunted down by Stolzy. He's going to see him now, though. Dosup's going to roll back. Avuli will claim Bitey's life in the process. A lot of fighting and skirmishing here. A minute and 12 seconds. Dragon Punch is available. Salvo used to just zone off the area. Fire Spit, that could do damage. Oh, it's going to miss. Not hit anybody.
Dosups, though, gets around the corner, spots out this high ground flank, but he's hooked into 3. Dosups, it's going to be a tough task to live there. He's able to roll off the high ground, eats the heal from the Blossom as well. He'll be kept up for the time being. Ancient Rage is available, but Dragon Punch is as well. So a delicate dance here, balancing those 2 ultimates out, trying to get value for both squads.
Arai still alive, healing up his squad. Stolzy in the back line, gets a protection shield. Doesn't need it quite yet, but it seems like Bitey's still running Wind Dancer. That's going to give him 40% movement speed just to reposition. Stay away from Fernando. That is proving valuable. Let's see if he gets one more shield here. He's under pressure, definitely from Cuss Cutie. Up in the rafters, he's got a grenade, doesn't want to use it, throws it, bang shot. He's going to be able to help Shady Shades clean up Cuss Cutie. Gets Drogos in the air. Shady Shades picking up that kill as well, and it could be Eager going all the way through. Misses the grenade, but he finds the pop shots on the head, and with the reload, those are gonna hurt. Successful push for Eager. It's tied 3-3. Game 1's going down to the wire.
Wardoom could get out there in time. 4 ultimates, however, for Astral Authority, so they're in a favorable position here to head out here. Wardoom actually picking up the veteran here. He is a guy that he plays away from his healers a fair bit, so this is a card that will just increase your out-of-combat regeneration. Great pickup here because it's not affected by Cauterize. He doesn't have to retreat to Cuss Cutie to get healed up. It'll help him get back in the fight a little bit quicker. It's percentage-based, so it's more effective on those tanks. 4% at rank 1, 8 at 2, and 12 at 3. Shady Shades all fleshed out here with all 4 item slots. Resilience 2, Record 2, Morale Boost 2, and a Life Rip 1. Just for good measure here. Everything except Midnight available for Team Eager, and everything except Scout ready to go for Astral Authority. 2 ultimates that counter each other in many ways. Cassie able to reveal that Midnight from Maeve, the AoE blind within 300 feet of your teammates. Wardoom cleans it up with a fireball to win the duel against Maeve. That is huge for Astral Authority right now, and the flavor has definitely started to shift in their direction. Wi-Fi helps to finish off in the air, and Arai, again, with huge gravity on both of those champion shots, finish off I Drop Bodies, who's in the air. Shady Shades now trying to redeem himself after getting picked off by the tank early on, but it is all Astral Authority as a result of 2 huge pickups by their tankier champions. Wardoom, you know, cracked the team fight open, and Dosups blew it wide open from there. Found 3 kills in that engagement. Shady trying to find Avuli here in the backline. Wardoom again finds a backliner. Stolzy goes down, and Dragon Punch is there to pick up Wi-Fi. Dosups going bigger rise there with the Maldamba Dread Serpent, but it doesn't get anything done as the Grover Whirlwind was there to keep everyone topped off. It's a very difficult ultimate to counter. You need to get Cauterize onto everyone, and Astral Authority come out with a very strong team fight to close out game number 1.
I mean, just Shady Shades getting dropped early to the Fernando.
Wardoom was big.
Not necessarily a huge fight you want to take. It's not like you know, you're trying to burst down a Bomb King even, or a Buck, or let alone like an Eevee. I mean, he's got so much health, and the constant damage, the burning, the damage over time. You've only got 1,800 to play around with, you know? Of course, the resets, but she just blew it all onto that, and it didn't pay off in her favor. So Maeve, Eager, they go down in the books to Astral Authority.
This is a great draft from both teams as well. It's not like anyone got out-drafted or even outplayed in a big way. You can see there was a lot of big damage numbers for both squads, a little bit more so for the Astral Authorities. They didn't have the double frontliner, and they had Wardoom as one of their frontliners, so he always finds a decent amount of damage here. But it just came down to the little things. It wasn't any big whiffed ultimates. It's Wardoom's pick onto Shady Shade. It's those little tiny things, just giving his team enough space, and then guys like Dosips using the space created, finds 3 kills in the engagement to follow that up. Everything was rolling Astral Authority's way at the end when it counted most.
Cuss Cutie with a great job of healing as we head into the maps for game number 2. We'll see where they'll take their
Grover
skills
out healing
to.
Maldamba. That's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, I know. It was a great job by Cuss Cutie on that one. You can see he had mastery of that champion going into this one. It'll be interesting to see kind of what his loadout is, looking at that next. If he's running a similar cripple loadout, if he's doing something different. Frog Isle will be where these two teams take their talents this next season. And, of course, it is time for the champion draft. Makoa going first. Can't believe it! I'm stunned.
I don't know what to say.
I don't know what's... This is outrageous.
It's just Frog Isle, man.
Come on.
It's a great map.
Great map for
Eager here with the chance to follow up the Torvald. I think going to be a little bit more impactful. Early Fernando. I don't know how I feel about that.
Away from Wardoom.
Wardoom, I think he's happy to play the Makoa, but taking that away from him it shuts that door for Astral Authority. Now they can't bring out the surprise Fernando when Team Eager's not really expecting it. Likewise with this Maldamba, Astral Authority has a lot of room to draft their healer late, but they do go for the Torvald early, which is them taking something away from Eager. Something I don't think Eager maybe saw coming.
And I think Eager do like to see Maldamba grabbed up. I think Arai,
you got to get a Shaolin here.
I think Arai on the Maldamba has been so excellent that Eager want that. And they're going to go back with Maeve. So they're really kind of committed to Maeve. They like Maeve. Shady Shade's done a good job. I mean, the Eevee is on the table. Definitely did need to prioritize that. They could have gone for, you know, maybe a secondary tank if they wanted. But they've got the flavor pick at the end. So they can kind of adjust their team comp based on what Astral Authority here want to lock in their core damage healing and then see where they need to offset it.
The Shaolin is left open for Astral Authority here. They're going to snag it up. It's a great pickup because as a backliner, Shaolin is one of the best at dealing with flankers. You know, the Impale Arrow is an instant win condition against almost any flanker. And even if you miss it, a good planted, like if you just have the nuts to just go into a planted and go toe-to-toe with a Maeve, a lot of times you'll come out on top as long as you're finding those shots consistently. When a guy like Dosips is likely to be on it, those shots are definitely going to come through consistently.
Absolutely. They pick up the Victor to round things out again. Eager really enjoying Victor. They've enjoyed Victor ever since they've been a team in Paladins. We've seen them play a lot, from Jake B running around there to Bitey as well. And now it seems like they've also found a little bit of joy on the other side with Astral Authority on the Grover. Cuss Cutie will do it again and open up the doors of the Church of Grover on Sunday, and a Chronos will be bought with the money earned from the masses.
Let's take a look at that loadout, though.
Yeah, let's absolutely see Grover's loadout. Avuli on the Drogos, Wardoom on Torvald. I drop bodies on Makoa and Dosips on Shaolin.
CDR is the name of the game here for Cuss Cutie's loadout. Crippling throw, cooldown reduction, as well as Blossom. So his right click throws the axe sideways, prevents use of movement abilities for, I believe, 1.5 seconds. But the number's not super important here. Bitey, I like the Victor pickup here, especially. The Grover can pressure it out, but you saw Stolzy was still able to break 100,000 damage. I think he got close to 120K.
So 824 right now on this shot.
It's a good pickup nonetheless, but this is the key to dismantling it now.
I mean, and also look, he's going to get a kill if they're not careful. He's going to find a way to safety, but he just sets Avuli up to go ham here. I mean, he's gotten at least 1,600 to 2,000 damage himself with these axes. And on Frog Isle, it just looks like, where's Eager? It's like you show up to a party, you know, 2 hours before anyone's there, and you're wondering, wait, is it actually going on? Because there was just 2 members of Eager, and you're wondering, where's the rest of it? They've been dealt with by Vuli and Cutie combining with all that damage.
And Grover's a tanky healer. He's got with that he's got a little bit of a health bar there, but 3,100 HP Cutie is sitting at. That's not easy for Maeve to burst through.
No.
That's the flank pressure right now, and it's just difficult to soften Grover up. Especially early game when your cauterize just isn't there. With that 1,000 burst healing on top of his already high HP pool, Grover is very difficult to take down.
And what they also want to do, what Maeve wants to do, she wants to dash, right? She wants to get you that cripple, of course, with Grover is going to counter that. It's going to counter a lot of her damage onto you. She's just going to be a throw those knives. And of course, you have the Blossom. You're going to be able to heal up at least one full set of knives that she throws at you. And you got a decent bit of damage as well. Remember, she's got to swing for a lot more than you have to swing in the total of that fight. So this is not a, this is turning out to be actually a really good pick for Astral Authority, especially with the Maeve being the one to aggress on that back line.
Hyper Beam as well, very potent on Frogile. You can see all that hazard zone Dosups is looking out at right now, so the Hyper Beam is something that could swing this snowball into full effect here. The hook is good on Shady Shades. They pick him up as well, and Eager are looking dismantled by Astral Authority right now.
2-0 in less than 3 minutes. I mean, this is unheard of type stuff, especially when you see such a tightly contested game. This is a showcase of this is what a good draft can do for you. This is what taking the right composition for your squad, what a cooling mode there by Vuli as well. And I think in many ways, this is also what's saying we've found a rhythm with our unit. We have a Vuli in this lineup. We feel good about the people we have on our team. I drop bodies, still providing pressure, but again, Cutie's just really...
Shout out to Wardoom playing the less aggressive of the two tanks.
And you know, Cutie's doing a great job as well at providing it. The Grover axis from the beginning of this fight really changed it. I wonder if he'll be able to do the same thing again.
Dragon Punch is ready to go. Astral Authority have the composition to snowball here with the double frontliner. Torball, very, very good early game. Look at them just destroy that Fernando shield. Wi-Fi falling down in less than 5 seconds into this fight.
Did I get the right address? Are we still having the thing tonight? Or I don't know. Did I miss it? Because none of my teammates are here. They're all in base. I thought we were attacking the objective. This is what the members of Eager have to be thinking right now, because Astral Authority is running all over them in this fight. Dragon Punch coming through for Vuli. The young man, no sub anymore, gets taken down by Shady Shades. And Stolzy finally trying to just get some damage in this fight. Midnight comes through. They've let Maeve get on the offensive, but who's she going to take? Makoa? Grover? Not a lot of good options. Stolzy thankfully finishes off Dosips. There's a Dread Serpent coming out from Arai. This is big. They can turn things around here, and Maeve still alive.
The Ancient Rage is a lot of HP. He's going to eventually be melted down. Bodies buying the time they needed to. Already in overtime, Eager had to make the move. They had to dump a lot of ultimates in for it, however. 27%. They're starting to find their way back, and it's about time. That would have been almost a death sentence there. Dosips finding a kill onto Stolzy here is a great way for Wardoom to come back in. There's the Hyper Beam almost off the map, but Fernando able to narrowly stay alive.
I drop bodies already getting the kill. Wardoom in the back line, just jumping in front of everyone. Not who you want to shoot at, but who he's forcing you to shoot at. And then look, Vuli from the top takes down Bitey. It's 3-0 Astral Authority. All they had to do was step one of their little itty-bitty toes on there with Eager backed up to the way they were, and they got the capture. 2 minutes, 14 seconds left. If this continues this way, Eager will have lost this game 4-0 in less than 7 minutes.
Snowballs are things that tend to happen here on Frog Isle. It's a very short payload push, as well as the spawn room isn't particularly close to the point there. There is a little bit of a way to traverse. Only one of 2 ways to actually exit the spawn, so a lot of ways for Vuli here to cover the options with the Drogos. There's a big hook onto Stolzy. A lot of Eager's teamfight damage dies with him.
No idea where Shady Shades is, and now they finally found her. And that would be on the end of I Drop Bodies, Dredge Anchor.
Dragon Punch.
And she's going down. Dragon Punch, it is available, but will they use it? Do they even need to use it at this point? Have Eager kind of consented that this game is over? The Immortal comes out, and Wi-Fi will do everything he can, but it is a formality. He will go down. That is a good barrage timing with the Dread Serpent. A lot of damage. There's a Hyper Beam, though. The Slither will immune it for just a bit, but Astral Authority have bought the window with the Hyper Beam. And boy, oh boy, 2-0, that was anything. I mean, that was so unlike what we saw in the first game. that I'm scratching my head as well watching that. Look like two completely different teams.
I mean, once you get the momentum going on Frog Isle, it's difficult to stop, especially with the composition drafted here from Astral Authority. A lot of damage from the Drogos, a lot of damage from the Dosups. Just unstoppable. The hyper beams were good. No crazy highlight, but just those little things there. The hyper beam just buying the window they need to push the payload through. Great whirlwinds, great damage coming out from Grover as well, and just a struggle here for Eager to get off. You know, they lost momentum early, and Frog Isle made it even worse to take it back. It's just very difficult to come back on this map.
Oh, not much to dissect there. They got they booties whipped. Let's head over to the map screen and see where they will be playing next round. Jaguar Falls will be the answer. And the champion draft is ready. They want to get right back into this. They want to make sure they don't come out on the bottom end here. Jaguar Falls a little bit easier, I think, to retake and to have some more even fights. I would expect less snowballing here, despite even, you know, some great play. But Torvald could be a big factor. Again, the hyper beams were a factor in that last game. It could be a big factor in getting the 2-0 push, and that leads to a lot of momentum.
They need something. They need a more frontline presence. They had a solo Fernando into a Torvald, a Drogos, and a Shaolin.
Dear God.
That's why Eager's team fight would fall apart so quickly, because by the time Wi-Fi moved, you know, from the peeking around the corner to the point, his shield was destroyed and he was put at about 10% health by the time he got onto the point. It's just not enough time.
I don't think I like the Maeve third pick anymore. I'm really thinking that Eager don't do that, and that's a great adjustment. I was just going to say she's not bringing enough, and you don't know if they build that type of tanky lineup. She has a lot less to go after. Let's wait and see. Do they get a Cassie? Do they grab an, you know, an Eve? Do they pick up a Victor? Then you know a Maeve is going to be a great spot for us. You could force a lot of things out of their hand when they don't know whether that last pick is going to be coming at them. Of course, Astral Authority now have the opportunity to have the last pick, so it's up in Eager's ball is in Eager's court to see where they'll go. They go for the second frontliner with Torvald.
Shaolin not on the table here, and Droxus could be a look
Another
here,
Victor.
but heavily favoring the Victor today is Team Eager. So Astral Authority could draft an Eevee, they could draft the Androxus, some type of flame pressure. The Maeve as well, rather, to pressure out this Victor. That's going to be the big key here, shutting him down.
And that is where you want to pick a Maeve, in my opinion. Yeah. You see two clear targets. She can go after the Cassie. She can go after the Victor. That's enough to win the team fight if you just leave Makoa, Torvald, and Maldamba by themselves, right? If you have your whole squad up, that is what you want to see. And Astral Authority, again, with a very strong draft, we'll see if Eager can bounce back. They've got a long way to go. Best of 5 set could be over after this game. We're on Jaguar Falls. Actually, we're on Serpent. No, we're on Jaguar Falls. Excuse me. Astral Authority will be Cuscutie on the Ying, and Vuli on the Drogos. War Doom on Fernando. I drop bodies on Maeve, and Dosups on Shaolin.
Eager will have Wi-Fi on Makoa, Stolzy on Victor, Arai on Maldamba, Bitey on Torvald, Shady Shades on Cassie. So a great draft from both teams. I feel very comfortable picks for everyone. It's going to come down. This is going to be more of the Stone Keep, I feel, where it was very close. It came down to small windows that get capitalized on to take these team fights here. 2 Wreckers immediately out of the gate for Astral Authority, 2 Cauterizes as well. War Doom going with the Master Riding, who will probably later go into that Cauterizer. It is so effective on Fernando.
Vuli gets a couple of shots there off of the booster into the midair. Thrust still actually about to be on availability now. He misses the fire spit, and he gets a couple of damage off. Look at that first blood there on the Bitey immediately. Victor causing a lot of damage in the backline. Stolzy still feeling confident on that champion. Dimensional Link from Cuscutie won't save her from Victor's damage. In fact, it'll probably put her right into the path of Victor, and was able to be the reason why he finished her off. And now, early on, Eager find themselves on the objective. So Vuli, he stayed in the backline this entire time, finally only to get picked off, not really find a lot of kills, and Shady Shades takes down I Drop Bodies in this process. So Eager coming back strong here on Jaguar Falls.
Great job from Wi-Fi there, pushing up. Once his team started to get clumped on the point, I think he recognized that they were starting to look a little vulnerable to Avuli's fire spit. Reads that Avuli would be pushing up for a nice tasty triple fire spit, finds the hook and finds the easy cleanup kill. Eager take the big advantage on the point off the back of that play.
93% and counting. There's a lot of pressure from Drogos here, but the objective's captured. They don't walk in fast enough. War Doom is trying to fight on the right-hand side, but Cutie and Vuli's damage from Drogos are enough to finish off Bitey, but they've already got what they came for. The prize has been claimed. The objective finally goes the way of Eager after so many, I believe, 5 in a row had gone to Astral Authority.
That's a lot of burst damage coming out. Cassie actually does fairly well against Maeve because she can just outburst her, especially if she's hitting all her cooldowns, which oftentimes is the case at this level of play. That Valentine's crossbow showing no love to Shady Shades Maeve.
And Shady Shades just reloading the ammo in that, getting a couple more bolts in the crossbow to do some damage in the realm. Stolzy maybe healed up, maybe basically using the protection to stay alive in these engagements, finding value in the Victor and the Torvald combination so far today has been Eager. And it hasn't worked a lot, but it started to work here in just the last few moments. So if this is any sign of the potential of this combo, it may just be something to look out for in North America. Stolzy still on the left side, but Shady Shades picking a fight with War Doom by himself. A lot of fire damage from the Flame Lance and forcing War Doom with the shield. The jumping continues, and this is what he does. He stays alive this long. He's wasted all this time, and it's almost better to just... Why chase him? But Shady Shades hits an actually invisible shot there. Fantastic job. Pops the scout and just finishes off War Doom. A rare feat.
53 seconds here. Big hook. Almost pulls the Drogos, and I believe Makoa actually got knocked back and threw off the trajectory of the hook. Bodies here, dying very often. Almost every time he goes in to try and take out Shady Shades, Cassie loses that fight. I'd like to see an adjustment here. Just to go on to Stolzy's Victor instead. You got a better chance at taking out that champion. 30 seconds here. Great zone from Wi-Fi. Ancient Rage is available here to try and hold this zone. And Eager are rolling here on this push. That'll be contested for the time being. It's probably War Doom that got over there on the payload. The shield is up. He will fall here, and Eager just cleanly taking this fight.
And as we've seen, Shady Shades, she could do well on the Maeve, of course, in duels, but not duels, as Eager take a 2-0 lead in this game, where Torvald is protecting a Victor or protecting a Cassie. It's just there's no way Maeve can burst through that. That's why in many ways Torvald's great with Maeve, but he's also a great counter to Maeve. And so Shady Shades, you can see, taking on the solo fights with Fernando. I think Stolzy's been hanging around Bitey a little bit more, kind of maybe changing iDropBody's champion choice there in terms of who he's going after.
Recognizing that, you know, he can't punch through those protections, you're right. So Cassie is his next best option, but Shady Shades is hitting all of his cooldowns on rotation. 2 1v1s in a row against bodies there. But the Cauterized 2s are online for Astral Authority. Record 2s ready to go for Dosups as well. So with those in pocket, maybe Astral Authority can turn things around a little bit. Bitey's Torvald be a little bit easier to take out. Healing from Arise and Aldamba won't be as potent, so we'll see if we can get things starting to go the way of Astral Authority.
750 damage, and Stolzy getting healed right back up. Can't tell you how important that is that Stolzy's not low, and he's able to get into this fight, throw the grenades again. He gets another protection. They're just keeping Stolzy alive with healing or with shielding, and this is meaning so much damage is still on their team. That's what the Victor is there for, straight damage, but it's hard for him to stay alive, but not when he's getting pocket healed, and that's why you see iDropBody's going for anything else, because Stolzy in the course of this fight has gotten 3 shields, gotten 2 Mending Spirits from Aldama and a full gourd onto him, and that means that he is just not the right target to try and burst down quickly.
Salvo coming out, Dragon Punch ready to go as well. Big directs onto Wi-Fi. The Wrecker's gonna blast through this shell shield. Doesn't have a rocket for the fire spit, so he just goes ahead and goes for the Dragon Punch, looking for Wi-Fi. He's gonna find him, and he's gonna be able to find the thrust out, but not for long. Stolzy takes him out.
Great stun as well by Arai, and this could be the shield's ending, and that is so important. War Doom not able to get around the corner, and Shady Shade picks up a double. Objective captured 3-0. Stolzy on a 15 streak on this Victor. Can he win against the Shaolin? It's not a typical battle, and Dosups plants him into the wall face first and finishes him off. But again, Eager have what they came for, an objective and another chance at staying alive in this set.
And now just the momentum has totally shifted in Eager's favor. They just got 4-0'd on Frog Island. Now they're in a position to do the same thing to Astral Authority here on Jaguar. The double frontliner draft just a little bit stronger, I think, this time around. This time it's going to go the way of Eager. Scouts available, but Doesn't need it. Has to have full vision of Cuskcutie and Uli here trying to back off on this Drogos. Bitey finds Cuskcutie. He reads the dimensional link perfectly. Has the protection available to keep
still
Stolzy safe,
alive.
and he's going to be able to be healed up.
And that is why you're not trying to fight Stolzy. Another protection. It's Wind Dancer giving him the extra movement speed, and Arai giving him the gourd as well. I mean, the fact that Bitey and Arai have been helping Stolzy, I mean, that core, and then allowing Shady Shades to just be Shady Shades. Go and do what he needs to do on the Eevee
So
or the
fast.
Cassie. Allow eyedrop bodies to have success when he wants. Have a lot of freedom of choice with who he wants to flank. That's been the difference for me. However, we have seen Maeve not have the biggest impact in this set. Maeve has been kind of lackluster for both teams. Whoever's had it, you mentioned eyedrop bodies not really finding rhythm. You know, when it was on the side of,
There's another one.
you know, when it was
Shady.
on the side of Astral of Team Eager, they didn't have rhythm either.
Stolzy's his best target, but Eager's doing a phenomenal job of keeping him safe with this Maldamba, with this Torvald. Shady Shades is just having a great day of Paladins, right? He has hit the mark on Eevee, on Cassie. He's just a difficult target to break down, and bodies just can't find a way in there.
Yeah, and Arai keeping his team alive as well. I mean, this is such a dangerous combination, and you talk about this with Victor. I mean, I really want to say, what if Tyra was here? What if that Molotov was out? What if we were giving her the same amount of support up close? I mean, that damage she could provide is absolutely astronomical. And definitely in Season 1, that Mercy Kill Legendary is going to be fun to see, seeing people executed with that grenade. But it could just be the execution of a Team Astral Authority by Eager, swiftly, cleanly, and finishing that game so that they get themselves back in the set 2-1. This is now, it's live, man. I mean, it's real.
A lot of the story here is going to be told in the stats as well. How much damage was Stolzy able to pump out? He was on some big streaks on Victor. 67,000 damage, wild and away above a lot of what the other guys were able to do in that game. Of Uli on Drogos, a character that excels at dismantling double frontline, at just getting so much consistent damage off, was more than 10,000 behind in the damage department. 5 and 8 on this Maeve, 23,000 damage, barely above his tank. Bodies just wasn't able to have an impact on that game. Great job from Eager there, using their draft to its strengths, keeping Stolzy safe, allowing him to pump out immense amounts of damage, and also a great job Shady Shades just winning the 1v1, because he's kind of next on the chopping block, but he was able to come out on top more often than not.
And they take Wardoom down, 1 and 8. Finding himself a lot more kills than a lot more deaths than usual, and that could be a sign of how you do go against Astral Authority. Make sure Wardoom doesn't have a good game, changes their game plan quite a bit. Serpent Beach, big game 4's map. Let's head to the champion draft, get this thing started. We could be going to 5. We'll have to wait and see. Depends a lot on the draft.
Astral snatch up the Makoa as well, so Eager have the chance to answer back. Do they take the Fernando early this time? They do. The Maldamba has been working very well for them as well, so they're going to snag that up.
Keep that.
And Arai's having a phenomenal game on it as well. And like you said, making sure Wardoom has a bad game is a big part of how Eager is going to be able to find success in this series. And that is his comfort pick, Fernando. He's here to frag, and he loves that champion. But they leave the Torvald open for Astral Authority. They have the Drogos as well, so those are two important pieces to the puzzle, because Drogos is a very good character to dismantle double frontliner, and Torvald specifically, Salvo, being incredibly effective against that character.
I mean, here they can flex maybe Torvald at the end and say, okay, you might play Makoa, right? I mean, they've had bodies play Makoa with Astral Authority. So to me, this says that they're looking for a Torvald to do the Makoa-Torvald combination and have Wardoom there as well. That's what worked for them.
If they don't take the Torvald here, I think Astral will take it for sure. I mean, that's the composition that they destroyed Eager with.
They go Ruckus
on Jaguar. So that's a little bit different, though. They didn't have the double frontliner before. The Fernando was just not able to stand up to the Makoa, the Drogo. They could take Torvald and Ying here, or they could go for Shaolin Ying here. And it looks like it's going to be the Shaolin Ying, just trying to dismantle Eager from a distance.
Yeah.
And Grover's even better to do that.
Yeah.
We haven't counted Grover in enough, but Cuskcutie has shown that he loves to run this character.
Bringing him back. Hey, if you get the chance to make it to the finals of the open week, the open bracket qualifiers, and get on this stage, you can make any character, viable in this meta. Basically, if you want to pick them, you can go ahead and do so. You can sign up for all these tournaments that we're having, as well. There's a lot of information on our esports website if you want to get involved. Final pick will be for Eager, again relying on the Victor. They're gonna have a lot of damage. Ruckus, Victor, but this time, you've been waiting for it. Stolzy on his famous Androxus. Wi-Fi will be on Fernando. Shady Shades on the Victor this time. Bitey on the Ruckus and Arai sticking to Maldamba, keeping things smooth.
These are very comfortable picks for both teams. Astro Authority with the Cuskcutie, Grover, Evuli on Shaolin, War Doom on Makoa, Bodies back on Drogos, and Dosips on Cassie this time. 1 cauterize for Astro Authority on Evuli, 3 cauterizes for Team Eager. They've seen the output from Cuskcutie here, and they do not want to have any part of it. A big part of shutting Grover down comes in getting these early cauterizes online to dismantle the Whirlwind healing, because all of that healing from Grover's ultimate can and will be countered by cauterize.
Cuskcutie, 1 axe, but not a lot of others. So this is already so good. I drop Bodies, takes down Bitey, and this is huge. Just a misstep, gets in the line of too much damage, and gives Astral Authority a clear victory here. As much as Eager had success last game, this is a completely new one, and they are just as close to defeat as they had been. And so they need to play this perfectly. So far, Bitey, big misstep there. Eager have a big hill to climb.
War Doom taking a lot of damage, however. He's going to get killed by Shady Shades. Big fire spit there. It's going to be around the corner. The thrust gets the reset there and actually gets healed up. So a beautiful little coordination from Bodies and Cuss, allowing him to get low enough to find that thrust reset, but not low enough to where he's going to die. 3 kills for 1. Astro Authority are dominating in this team fight.
And they're caring about the point fight, and Bodies is having so much free reign. And War Doom isn't caring about the point fight, and he's going to the back line. If they want to compete with this squad, they need to change their mentality to say, we need to do what they're doing. We need to match them. We can't go out and allow them to just counter us. We're feeding into their counter by standing on the point. They've got Shaolin and Drogos, for crying out loud. We are not going to,
and Grover,
we are not going to survive with a solo Ruckus just standing there like, hey guys, please don't shoot me. They're going to shoot you. You need to be as aggressive, or you need to wait for them to get on and use your range to attack them.
And you can see just in the ultimate charges how much more effective everyone from Astro Authority is being than Eager. We're looking at 50% to 60% as opposed to fully charged ultimates already for Astro Authority. So they're just finding the mark. They're finding so much more damage. Eager now just starting to find their first win in a team fight. The reversal's big enough onto Dosips. Gonna cap that team fight off in a big way there. Stolzy taking down one of his former teammates.
Stolzy with a nice dismount from range. That's actually going to add a lot of time before he's able to get down. But I drop Bodies, and the combination with Grover's cripple leaves him exposed. And man, Stolzy falls in a very unexpected way. Didn't expect to get bursted that quickly. Great shell spin as well. Coming in, trying to finish off Bitey. This is looking like a potential snowball. Long reload, will miss War Doom. And Shady Shades here in the back line, trying to be as effective as Stolzy was on Victor. I don't know if he's found the same rhythm that they've had, especially without the Torvald to keep him alive.
Just looking for the flank here.
Nice grenade.
Very beautifully timed there with the fuse timer. Here comes the Whirlwind. Now the cauterizers just aren't strong enough. Huge grenades into the clump. But the Whirlwind healing is just huge, and I drop Bodies. Evuli getting so many kills done there. Beautiful play from Cuskcutie. Hits him with the cheer emote just to put the cherry on top.
Dosips literally goes into that, and then the kill comes through. This is, again, you mentioned it, Nick, egos, there's pride, there's history between these teams, and Astral Authority have basically let a set slip into another point of contention here, and they're trying to finish it up, clean up their mess as soon as possible. They've 2-0'd thus far. Eager have to change their game plan. But how do they go about doing that?
It's going to be tough, right? Because Serpent Beach is another map that you can find yourself snowballed on. And Astral Authority are totally in the driver's seat right now. They're leading the net worth, they're leading streaks, they're leading in terms of ultimates right now. Heat Haze and Ancient Rage, and Frankly, Eager don't have a great answer to the Ancient Rage. They don't have a nice Dragon Punch or any sort of Hexafire. They do have the Hexafire available right now, but it's going to be difficult here. They got to bait it out with something. Long-range Hexafire is just, it's not going to hit the mark.
I mean, Stolzy kills Doseps, it's great, but you see Bitey goes onto the point. I don't know why he's exposing himself here, especially without the Fernando to help keep him alive. There's just so much damage going on. Custody in the back line keeps him down. If Vuli finds a kill as well onto Shaolin, and Shady Shades again just getting pressured out. Look at those axes. One could hit him from here, and he could go down, and into the base again. Team Eager with 62%, but have a lost point fight and a lost cause. 48% now for Astral Authority and counting.
Big plays from Wardoom as well, getting into the back line, taking out some of those threats. Bitey got left out to dry once again on the point, but not by any fault of his teammates, just great play, splitting up Eager from Astral Authority. Here's a Dread Serpent. Try and get things going for Eager. 2 for 0 right now. Big salvo damage coming out onto Bitey. He's already at about half health.
Get off the point, Bitey. Get off the point. No one's there yet. I would just say wait. Make sure that you don't have the pressure on you, because if that ends up being your strategy, it works here. But I think that he's just leaving himself too unnecessarily exposed. I think Ruckus, the range he has, the damage he has, he can use that to give his team the advantage, poke out a little bit of Astral Authority, and then move on to the point, not just leave everybody full health to kind of just wail on him. And I think, unfortunately, for Astral Authority, they can't close things out. Give them too many chances to get back, and they even this thing up in terms of points captured here. 2-1 with the payload about to push.
The Whirlwind keeping everyone alive. For the time being, Stolzy up onto the high ground, has the accursed arm, but doesn't have a lot of other cooldowns at his disposal right now. He's backed up into a corner, and Cuss Cutie pins him to the wall with the Grover axes, hanging him out to dry. 2 for 2 right now. Shady Shades with both the kills for Eager.
Nice
Wi-Fi goes down, and Shady just forced to retreat. Shaolin needs one more shot, but around the corner, Shady Shades gets taken out by a fire spin.
Good stuff there by Stolzy as well, and Avuli. Both looking for damage and being safe about it in their attempts. Wardoom, again, aggresses on, finds Bitey on the Ruckus. He's been a champion they've had to deal with, but they've had such a good time at dealing with him as well. Disengage hits his head. Fernando, thanks to that big body, doesn't go flying out onto the drink, and he's now able to pressure off. But the damage consistently from Doseps, and then, of course, the follow-up with Evuli is enough to make sure that they lose one tank in this engagement. Doesn't see the Stolzy flank, though. This could be it. Now he does. Now he's ready, and Stolzy's got to get out of here and get out of here fast. He will take the high ground, but Bodies with 2 kills to shut him down.
Has his Dragon Punch available as well. Cuss Cutie's almost got the Whirlwind charged up again, and only 45 seconds remain on this payload push. So Astral Authority wisely, I think, moving out for this forward zone here. Want to keep Eager away from this one if they can. They don't want to give Eager the chance with all 5 ultimates to punch this one through. But the payload, thankfully, is far enough away to where Eager aren't going to be able to convert this with one teamfight win. They're going to have to take out a couple of waves of reinforcements.
Oh, that's big.
Stolzy opens things up, however, for Team Eager.
Doseps, if he stays alive here, that is huge for Astral Authority. But look at this healing now, and they're not going to be able to finish him off. Arai again gets a big-time kill and some big-time healing. This is what Eager needed. Arai still alive. They've got their healer. Ultimates will probably have to be used now to secure that this does not go through. There's just too much pressure, too much zone potential happening. Hexafire could be used. The barrage comes out. He's looking to find one. Finds Cuss Cutie in the hallway, and he's pressuring out the Cassie as well. Doseps is in trouble. He's going to dodge roll, but he's going to get taken down. Eager tie it up 2-0 and hit the BM and Moat back at him.
He's got it. I got one of those too. Doseps, he takes. That was a big barrage there. Double kill and continual pressure onto Doseps and Bodies after the big play from the barrage there. So Shady Shades continuing to have a great game, and now the cauterized 3s are online for Team Eager. So all tied up in the items department as they tie the game up 2-2, and these cauterized 3s are going to be very impactful, especially on characters like Shady Shades, like Wi-Fi, like Stolzy, that are going to be able to get this consistent damage. Victor, any amount, it doesn't matter how far away this Victor is, if he's hitting 20 damage, if he's hitting 200 damage, he's going to be applying that debuff. Same thing with Wi-Fi. He can just run in and spray everyone with his Flame Lance, and will be a guaranteed 90% healing reduction which is really going to start to have an impact on what Cuskcutie can do with these great
this.
Whirlwind ultimates.
I love this, though. This is what I'm talking about. This is Bitey. I feel like he heard me. He's not on the point right now. He's just zoning out. They have to do a lot to get him. He still goes down. They pull them out of position, but they haven't gotten early picks here. The problem is they finally got the picks, and the picks are on the tanks. And so this is going to definitely snowball in Astral Authority's favor. That was a good attempt, but they just weren't able to pull that offensive approach together, and it could be Astral Authority with one clear, succinct, and quick win. And that means they go up without any contest here on the objective. iDropBody's just zoning out. And however, he misses the Dragon Punch. He will slay Stolzy, but Bitey's still
Big
alive.
fire
Double
spit.
kill by Bodies. Looking for a triple. Bodies can't get it. Avuli with a double of his own. And though they use the Dragon Punch, they at least claim the objective here.
I mean, he whiffed the Dragon Punch, so he retains 30% of that charge. If he can stay alive, he will be able to get this charge up fairly quickly. You can see he's already back to 62%. On this one, so that fail-safe 30% ult charge hitting the mark here, 70% on the Dragon Punch. This is, it's not the worst thing that ever happened in terms of a missed ultimate, because now they'll have this available for the payload push, and they were able to still come out on top of that win, but hindsight is 2020.
Good job by Wi-Fi to stay alive, but they're just getting wrecked. The CC, I feel like, is really hurting, really hurting Bitey on the Ruckus. He's getting impaled, or the planet is coming through. He's getting crippled by the Grover and just locked down after the Makoa pull, and it is just turning into so much damage that he has no way to get out. And I would be wondering if maybe there's an item selection here, Nick. I mean, do you think some of the CC just setting up for the clear, easy damage on the Ruckus is a big enough factor, or is it his positioning? What's not working?
I can't really blame Bitey. I think Astral Authority's just doing a good job at zoning out the follow-up. Oh, nice axe up onto the high ground to pick off Stolzy and get things rolling here. Wi-Fi's extremely low in the backline as well. Dosip's trying to get that kill converted, but a nice hook off the high ground. Warden to keep things going here. A lot of damage coming through for iDropBody's 91% on that Dragon Punch. But he's going to take the spill. Bitey comes out on top of that trade.
Good spot by Bitey. Gets the kill on the Body's a huge damage dealer. Wardoom, great hook as well. Dosips will follow up on a Stolzy. Shady Shades into the barrage. But will he find enough damage? It will give a little bit of room, but Wardoom still alive and helps to finish off what he hoped was a kill. But Orion Wi-Fi finish off Invuli and Cuskcutie in the process. It leaves Bodies a little bit of time to try and get a kill, but he's actually going to try to turn around and get us out of there, but he ends up whiffing that one yet again, killed in the process by Wi-Fi. 27 seconds left. It's looking very unlikely that Eager are going to be able to, Astral Authority are going to be able to push this in. It could leave us going down to the wire here for this last game.
Yeah, Eager in a position they can benefit from the defense point here, and the whiff Dragon Punch is not a great way to start this fight, but picking off both of the tanks would be. Immortal does come out from Wi-Fi immediately into the backline.
That's huge.
Wants to cut off the healing. Here's the Whirlwind from Grover to keep everyone from Astral Authority healthy. However, the cauterized threes are starting to come through, so picks are falling left and right for Astral Authority. Of Wooly keeps the fight going here with the planet. Hexafire comes out from Bitey. Doesn't get the kill, though. The conversion comes through. And Astral Authority sneak it in.
Oh my, Astral Authority win. Woo. They take the cake over Eager here. They do it convincingly, and congratulations to them for their success in this set and taking a first place over Eager. It was definitely a tale of teammates that knew each other, and some of the best players in the world, some of the best players obviously in North America. Here are the stats. They kind of tell a story as well.
Absolutely. Even with those two whiff Dragon Punches, Astral Authority able to find the way through. A lot of damage from Avuli and Dosip, 73 and 85 respectively on those guys. Wardoom as well, finding a decent amount, 55k on the Makoa. Closing in even on Stolzy's Androxus within 10,000 of the Godslayer. No Torvald to keep him safe and let him fill out that hyper carry role this time around. But just two very strong overtime pushes from both those teams. Eager was able to tie things up, but again, it was looking grim right off the back of a missed Dragon Punch with 20 seconds remaining on the payload push. Astral Authority find the way to get it done.
So Astral Authority drop only one game in this tournament and feeling very confident now. The lineup is part of Match Point now kind of meshing in. They brought a Vuli into the squad, and it puts them at a clear #1 here against Team Eager, who've got Stolzy and still a lot of the core from Eager previously, and are trying to mesh themselves with this new roster to be the best they can be. Xenasi, Team AGG, it's not their week this weekend, although they've had some really shining moments previously. And of course, we've all still got one more week to go to see where the final points end up. Astral Authority are in a really good spot, though. And all 4 of these teams are actually really looking like they're going to create an exciting kind of experience with the Masters coming up.
Yeah, and with the PTS being live right now, should make for a very interesting last week of qualifiers here. Head on over to forums.paladins.com to get that downloaded and get testing those legendaries. I know that's probably where these competitive players are heading immediately, because if nothing goes weird, the next week of qualifiers will be played with those legendary cards, as this patch is scheduled to go live on Wednesday.
It is going to be the Wild Wild West. I encourage you to get as big of a step ahead in the patch as possible. So go to PTS, play tonight, play tomorrow, play Monday, play Tuesday. We've extended it to get your feedback, to help us learn a little bit about the balance, what you're thinking is strong, weak, what could use some adjustments. We want to know, you all watching here, probably more aware of the full state of the game than almost anybody else in the Paladin scene. So we encourage you to go take a look and hang out and have some fun there with us on PTS. My name is Rain Day. This is High Res Pretty Hair. Thank you from everyone here at High Res Studios for taking a look at our stream. It's been fantastic hanging out with you today. And of course, we'll see you back next weekend, same time, same place for the last week, 3 p.m. Eastern time on both Saturday for EU and Sunday on North America. As always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all next time.